What's the point of watching football all weekend if you can't overanalyze it?
Reaction Monday is sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. Rise and grind, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get bumpy. Time to attack and dominate. This is Morning Juice with Brandon Beam and Bobby Carpenter.
And here we go on a Reaction Monday, attacking and dominating our way to 9 a.m. every single weekday morning right here on The Fan. Brandon Beam, the General Bobby Carpenter, and of course our fearless leader and producer Mark the Shark. Bob, we've made it here, buddy, through a weekend, right back to a Monday. What's going on, man? Good to talk to you.
Oh, a robust weekend of football, Beam. That's what's up. Always great on a Monday to see all these fantastic games coming to a close. Maybe last night's game wasn't quite as good as people would have hoped, but outside of that, man, it was a pretty wild and fun time, if you will, over the college and NFL landscape.
It was a great college football weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you had some big matchups. Obviously, the Georgia-Alabama game highlighting that. What a terrific game that was. Coming down to the wire. Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. Georgia with a ferocious comeback.
Yeah.
Bama holds them off. Big touchdown at the end. We'll get into that a little bit later. So you had that game. You had some upsets, right? Ole Miss going down. Stoops saying, not with an opportunity to win a game again. Am I going to lose? So Kentucky takes down Ole Miss, Bob. Had a good primetime slate. The Penn State-Illinois game was pretty good. Obviously, the Buckeyes got a big win on the road against Sparty. Yeah, the Sunday night football game last night, I had a feeling that it was going to go the Ravens' way as soon as Derrick Henry touched the ball for the first time and ran 86 yards.
Yeah, and running over 20 miles an hour. Still got that great top-end speed. You know, Buffalo's beat up. And Ravens, you know, my dad calls it crap and ice cream when you're fumbling the ball into the end zone. Your guys are recovering it for a touchdown. Sometimes just things go your way. And the Bills have had a lot of breaks. They were 3-0. They were playing well. You know, the Ravens were not going to go quietly into the night. I think that's why I anticipate them coming back and still winning the North. And they're 2-2, only a game back at Pittsburgh now, who lost a heartbreaker to Indianapolis.
Joe Flacco.
That's amazing. When Joe Flacco comes in is when they start finally playing well.
Right.
And the Steelers' defense wasn't that great in the second half. Fields struggling early, played really well late.
Got it together, fumbled, and then got it together.
Then looked really good. Yeah. And they're sinking inside the red zone at the end and give up a sack because there's nobody blocking. So
that and then a snap miscue as well.
Head off his face mask, yeah. So that was even prior to that. They were able to kind of recover from that and put themselves in a fourth and manageable situation. And unfortunately, it just wasn't to be. And then the Browns, dude. The Browns, I'm done. Shark, are you still a Kevin Stefanski fan?
No. No, Bob, I'm not.
No.
When you say still, you're sounding like I ever was.
That's two-time Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski.
Right.
Okay. Just trying to figure out where everybody's head's at.
He's an offensive genius, but his offenses are just horrible.
No. He's really good scripted plays, like coming out.
Then just script
first drive of the game, like they're really good. I don't put yesterday on Deshaun at all. I mean, that offensive line was having problems. Amari Cooper, ball hits him right in the chest, pops up in the air.
Yeah.
Big pick. You got a questionable holding call on then a big Amari Cooper bomb. Yeah, that did not go very well for them out in the desert. We're going to break everything down today. Of course, it is a Reaction Monday. We got an awesome show lined up for you here this morning. 620, 720, 820, Buckeye Talk. All right, 6:35, Bill Bender, the Sporting News. He's going to join the program. We'll talk all things college ball with him, with what was going on. Tony Gerdeman, a Buckeye Huddle. He was up in East Lansing at Spartan Stadium. He's going to join us at 7:35. Then 8:35, Joshua Perry, as he does every single Monday, will join us a little bit later on. But before we get into anything else today, it is Monday, the 30th day of September, 2024. Time for Today in History.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, Robert, what do you got lined up for us this morning, buddy?
Oh, we've got, like you mentioned, it is Monday, September 30th, final day of the month, by the way. Tomorrow we'll be flipping those calendars over. Does anyone still flip a calendar, Shark? I don't know. You do.
I do. I still do, Bob.
Well, we'll be flipping over to October tomorrow. 274th day of the year, 92 days remaining.
Oh, man.
A couple more before we're in the 80s beam. This date, 1907, William McKinley National Memorial. The final resting place of William McKinley is finished in Kin. What number president was William McKinley, Shark?
Billy McKinley was our 25th.
Good job. Fine Ohioan, I knew you would get that. This day, 1935, the Hoover Dam is dedicated right outside of Las Vegas. 1939, NBC televises the first football game. It was Waynesburg versus Fordham.
Nice.
Triborough Stadium in Randall Island there in between.
All right.
Yeah.
1939?
1939. Was
That's awesome.
Before the first World Series was broadcast.
Hey.
1947, which is the first World Series 9 years later, broadcast the Yankees over the Dodgers in 7. 1949, the Berlin Airlift ends on this date. And then in 1972, Roberto Clemente hits his 3,000th hit. Do you have any idea how many hits Roberto Clemente had, Beam?
Over 3,000.
No, he had 3,000 on the nose. It was his final game.
Was it?
Yes, Shark knew it. I asked him on Friday, and then he ultimately passed away.
Wow.
Matlack on the 0-1. Bobby hits a drive into the gap in the left center field. There she is. For a double. Papers flying, everybody standing. A double for Roberto.
Mr. 3,000 getting it done. Unfortunately, he lost his life. Plane crash, Shark?
Yeah.
Yes, taking
To Honduras?
goods to Nicaragua.
Nicaragua. Some birthdays today in Jarvis, born in the state 1832. She was the founder of Mother's Day, Bean.
All right.
William Wrigley Jr., the founder of Wrigley's, born in the state in 1861. And Barry Williams, turning 70 today, better known as Greg Brady.
Here's the lowdown on this. I had a crush on Florence Henderson, like who didn't? And she was twice my age. And we had a common interest in music. So I took her out to dinner, and we talked music and how I might be able to integrate it into my career. I picked her up in my own car, and I took her home, and when we said goodnight, I gave her a little kiss, maybe a little peck. Well, I kissed her lips, which was like big stuff for me. But I always had a great attraction to her. I like her very much.
Is that Mrs. Brady? That's awesome.
Guys living the dream.
What a great story. Tremendous there. Jose Lima, 13-year NFL vet.
It's pronounced Lima.
Well, maybe. Probably not. But born on this date, 1972. Martina Hingis, world number one for 209 weeks, winner of 3 slams, all but the French, turning 44 today.
When the season 97 started, I was just 16. What happened in 97, no one can foresee something like that. I always liked playing in Australia. There was a fresh start to the season.
Here it is, the youngest Grand Slam champion in the Open era.
Who knows if I was hungry enough to win Wimbledon.
She's done it!
The US Open, having to face Venus Williams, who was my age, I was a bit nervous. You know, I still wanted to prove that I was number one. Looking and talking about 97, that was the year.
Absolutely, Beamer. And also born in the state, turning 41 years young, Adam Pac-Man Jones. Some passings today on this date. James Dean passing away in 1955, the rebel without a cause.
Don't I buy you everything you want? A bicycle? You get a bicycle. A car?
You buy me many things.
No. We give you love and affection, don't we?
You're tearing me apart!
What?
You say one thing, he says another, and everybody changes back again! Oh!
How did he die, Shark?
That would be a car crash, Bob.
Oh, that's too bad. And then also passing away in this day, 2003, one of Shark's favorite all time, Robert Kardashian.
How did the DNA, the blood evidence, affect you? Ron Goldman's blood and Simpson's Bronco, Simpson's blood in so many places?
Barbara, that was the most devastating part of the whole trial for me. I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm so conflicted because of that blood evidence.
What was your reaction to the verdict?
That morning, O.J. was in his cell, and I prayed with him at that time. And I prayed to God, not that this man be set free, but that thy will be done Only you know, God, what has happened here.
That was in 2003, so a decade about after the trial, breaking that down. When was that? It was post-trial interview. When was that? Just immediately after? He passed away in 2003.
Yeah. It was like a year later, and he talked. It was a really good interview. He was pretty candid about that. He and OJ weren't friends after that trial.
He did his job.
Because Kardashian knew he was guilty.
Well, yeah.
OJ knew that Kardashian thought he was guilty.
Well, that'll break a friendship, Shark. Some holidays observances today. It is Blasphemy Day, Chewing Gum Day, International Podcast Day. How about that? International Translation Day, National Love People Day as well, and Thunderbirds Day. And those are your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays observances for this date, September 30th, the final day of September, 274th day of the year, 92 days remaining in 2024.
Good job on that, Bob. As always, what are your immediate thoughts? We'll get into some Buckeyes here in our next segment. Just immediate reaction to Saturday evening against Sparty.
Some good, a little bit of bad. I mean, they're a good team. Like, they're going to be a decent Big Ten team.
Child's a good player.
They've got some talented players up there. They've got, obviously, gifted wideouts, gifted young quarterback. They're going to be good. Jonathan Smith is a good coach. So on the road, it was a big night for them, honoring Mark D'Antonio. So there was going to be a lot of juice in the house. I think I picked the final score. I thought it said, told someone 38-6. I think that's what I did with the podcast, the Berm and those guys. I'm like, well, it's 38-7. And it's always funny. I'm like, you can pick the score of what you think / what it could be. And if it's there, but sometimes it doesn't even feel as good as you think that it should.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't understand this, but whatever.
All intents and purposes. I mean, you went on the road. You did your job.
The number was 20.
Yeah, they covered that. They covered the number 24.
24. They covered it easily.
Yeah, they covered the number. I mean, yeah, first half, I think you have some things, obviously, to go over because you allowed 142 yards in the first half through the air. You limited them to 60 total yards in the second half, and you had some big-time turnovers. Like that was
you got back on the turnover train. A couple of fumbles and a pick.
That was the difference in the ball game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was the difference. You had the Lathan punch out, and then the Jordan Hancock just straight up as the tight ends fall into the ground, it ripped that ball away. I thought it was pretty good. And by the way, Jeremiah Smith's a freak. Like
pretty good. Him and Ryan Williams are two of the best freshman receivers I've ever seen.
Well, we'll get to him a little bit later on, man. What he was doing to the Georgia defense was absolutely incredible. So, Buckeyes get it done 38-7. We're going to break it down a little bit more as they conquered their first road test of the season this past Saturday. Get into that next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Watch for closures out in the Circleville area on US 22 and State Route 207 because of debris from the storms last week. We're also watching some lane restrictions on the ramp from I-70 eastbound to I-71 northbound here in the metro. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steckerwald with your fan traffic.
At Custom Air, integrity is key. That's why there are no high-pressure sales tactics, just a commitment for friendly and professional service. That's the way they do things. It's the Custom Air way.
After 31 years in Washington, just how much has Sherrod Brown changed? When he first wanted our vote, he said this.
My allegiance will be to Ohio and to the communities in Ohio.
To Ohio? Sherrod Brown voted for amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants. And he voted to give them taxpayer-funded benefits, like free health care to illegals who get amnesty, Social Security checks, COVID relief checks, all to be paid for by you. And Sherrod Brown's open border policies have led to more fentanyl, dangerous gangs, even terrorists pouring into our country. So when Sherrod Brown says this,
my allegiance will be to Ohio and to the communities in Ohio.
Don't listen to what Sherrod Brown says. Watch what he does. Because Sherrod Brown doesn't vote for Ohio anymore. He's way too liberal for Ohio. American Crossroads paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AmericanCrossroads.org.
My kids call me Tom. So unnerving. Every day, the older one's like, how you doing, Tom? I go, hey, I'm not your stepdad, all right? I wish I was. It'd be a lot easier, but I'm not.
From his multiple Netflix specials, comedian Tom Segura brings his new tour, Come Together, to Schottenstein Center Friday, October 4th. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Tom Segura, Come Together.
Seal off drafts, dust, and moisture with MD Weather Stripping from Menards. A well-sealed home is more comfortable and energy efficient. We have the largest selection of in-stock weather stripping with over 130 products available to take home and start lowering your energy bills today. Save big money on MD Weather Stripping right now at Menards. And check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals.
Save big money at Menards.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here from Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, announcing our $99 home preventative maintenance checkup. Carpenter and Bryant will do whatever it takes to get you ready for the fall and winter ahead. Check us out at carpentercolumbus.com. That's carpentercolumbus.com.
By the time you're finished listening to this Pepsi Zero Sugar, you'll be 15 seconds closer to kickoff. Stock up now. Bengals game day is so close, you can almost taste it. Bengals watching. Better with Pepsi.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Fall is here. It's still warm and dry and everything's brown. But yay, fall. Maybe after your summer road trips, you've realized your vehicle sucks. My friends at Jermaine Lexus want to help. Right now, they have special APRs as low as 2.99% on their most popular models like the ES and RX, or lease payments starting as low as $4.99 a month. My friends at Jermaine are the best in the business. If you're in the market, please stop in. 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, JermaineLexus.com.
Scott from the Cleveland area has coached girls basketball and supported his granddaughter's athletic pursuits.
My granddaughters have worked hard to excel in sports. It's tough enough. So the idea that Sherrod Brown voted to allow transgender biological men to compete in girls' sports, it's unfair and dangerous. And introducing a bill to allow biological men in girls' locker rooms? Biological men to shower in my granddaughter's locker room? No way. I worry about the safety of my family constantly. Now I have to worry about Sherrod Brown's crazy liberal ideas. I thought Sherrod Brown was on my side, but he's way too liberal for me.
Sherrod Brown has let Ohio down. Now he's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, 77 and cloudy with a 30% chance of rain. 63 is your nighttime low tonight with a few showers. Showers on your Tuesday with a high of 79. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
If this show made a scented candle, it would smell like bad coffee, unwashed jockstrap, and grass clippings.
I wasn't sure how you take your coffee.
You're listening to Morning Juice.
So, mouth or enema?
Little Reaction Monday edition of the program. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Bob, why don't you give me a number here early on, right out of the gates on a Monday?
Oh, let's go number 3.
Caller number 3, quick trigger, 614-821-9710. That's the phone number. You be caller number 3, you get into Shark. You're going to want a pair of weekend passes to Sonic Temple. That's right, the Art and Music Festival. It all begins Thursday, May 8th, runs through Sunday, May 11th. It's at Historic Crew Stadium, and Metallica leads the lineup. They're going to headline Friday and Sunday, and promising a no-repeat weekend. For more information, you can visit sonictemplefestival.com, 614-821-9710. That's the phone number. Caller number 3, you get into Sharky. Again, walking away with a pair of weekend passes to Sonic Temple over at Historic Crew Stadium. We've got Alice in Chains there, too, Bob. Headliners have not been announced for Thursday and Saturday just yet, so a pretty awesome little giveaway. How was your Saturday, man? Pretty good?
Yeah, it was a pretty good Saturday. Can't complain. Watched a lot of college football. Had a pretty good time. Locked in, sat there, bounced around, watched RJ, saw the end of RJ's the freshman game in Arlington. McLean, they had a lacrosse tournament over at Ohio State, so caught some of that while I was watching some of the games on my phone from that early window. But it was a good time. Surprised to see that Ole Miss, Kentucky rising up and getting it done again. Little short, obviously, against Georgia, like a couple weeks ago, but then beating Ole Miss and taking care of business there. So that was kind of the first, I would say, the Notre Dame loss to Northern Illinois, obviously that was big, but I don't know if Notre Dame was a true national title contender, maybe to get the playoff. I don't
Playoff
think
contender for sure.
more than that. But Ole Miss losing, I think, was very surprising.
Well, they had been so good so far.
Oh, yeah, they had 600 yards of offense every game.
Yeah, like they had been really good. So they go down to Kentucky. Notre Dame did pull off against Louisville, had that big win. Michigan almost, flirted with disaster. They called an offside and an onside kick.
Yeah. They're not big. I quit watching that thing.
Yeah, then Minnesota came back. Crazy had a big punt return as well. So all of a sudden, I think it was 24-7, and then Minnesota scored 2 times in the blink of an eye to make it 24-21. They recovered the onside kick. They called them offside. So it was a good weekend of college football. Obviously, Georgia coming back against Bama. Bama then big play, one play, 75 yards to Ryan Williams. We'll get to that more a little bit here in the 7 o'clock hour. So was at the wedding, was on my phone the entire time. Was streaming the Buckeye game, so that was pretty good. I didn't get any looks. I didn't get any comments. I actually had people coming up to me and being like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, let's see what's happening."
Did you end up finding a bar?
So the way that it was set up, it was this country club, and it was called Old Warson Country Club, and it was really cool. Like they had hosted a Ryder Cup. They had like a Ryder Cup room. There was a sweet picture of Arnie and Jack back in the day as Ryder Cup like a pairing. So it was pretty neat. And the way that the reception was set up, it was in the banquet hall, and there was a bar inside the banquet hall. So in that bar was the Georgia-Bama game on, and I had positioned myself to be looking at that. And then I had the Peacock rolling on my phone on the table. So I was kind of dual barreling. I was laughing.
That's pretty good setup.
It was pretty good. I'll give him credit because it was pretty solid. And then when everybody else is like laughing and clapping during the speeches, I would ha ha ha. Like I'm not paying attention at all. But no, it was pretty good. So watch that. It was solid. A pretty good watching atmosphere for the Buckeye game. Again, like the whole Meredith's whole family's from Cleveland, so they're all Buckeye fans, and they're wondering what's going on in there. And then the game got over, and then everybody was watching the Georgia-Alabama game finish up at the bar too. So that was
good
pretty
job
solid.
out of them for being self-aware.
Yeah, totally, man, totally. And so one of the groomsmen was a big Bama fan. Like I think he grew up in Alabama, so it was all over the place. People were trying to watch college football. It was a good job of them for kind of letting the college football
fans. How did it go with Billy? Like, what was his?
So Billy was all right. He was okay. So Friday night we got there. We had a little bit of like a welcome party. We got back to the hotel room like 11 o'clock.
Everybody want to see him beam.
Everybody did want to see him. So on Saturday morning.
Show him a picture.
Yeah, on Saturday morning, he was in bed. We had a babysitter that just hung out in the hotel room, which was fine. Nice. We had a joining room. So like she stayed in Meredith's mom's room the whole time, was able to watch TV and stuff. And so we get back on Friday night, nothing. Don't hear a peep from him, which was good. Then on Saturday we got up, walked around a little bit, went to the other hotel where they were staying. So like people who wanted to see him got to see him. We went to like a little kids museum. I don't even know. It's called the Magic House over there. Very interactive. It was kind of like COSI a little bit. Like it wasn't as big as COSI, but that was pretty neat. So we had a good time with that.
House.
We did some lunch. He didn't take a nap. So that was kind of a disaster. And then we get back on Saturday night after the wedding.
Did you bring a pack and play?
They had a crib. They had a crib in the room for him, which was nice. So that was pretty good. So he didn't take a nap, which again, that was a disaster. I skipped the actual ceremony. I skipped the wedding because I was like, I'll just hang out with him for a little bit. Don't want the babysitter to have to do some activities. So yeah, we just watched some football, which was pretty solid. Then got ready to go. Was watching the Ohio State game on the bus ride over to where the actual wedding was at.
They had a bus.
They had like a charter bus to take you from the hotel to the wedding. Yeah.
But not to the wedding, to the reception.
Correct, to the reception.
So they had a bus. Who was on the bus? Did they just openly acknowledge you're skipping the wedding and going?
No, they all came back to the hotel. Okay. Everybody came back to the hotel.
I thought you meant for those of you that don't want to go to the wedding, here's the bus for the reception.
Yeah, so everyone came back to the hotel, and then they went, because the reception was at a different place than, because that was at a church, the actual wedding was. Tucked in, watched the Buckeye game, so that was pretty solid. Will Howard, good. I need a decision to be made on a throw like a half a second earlier. I think he's dragging a little bit, and not to say that he had a bad game or anything, Bob, but the pick was obviously not the best throw in his career. I mean, when you break it down, Ohio State had 298 passing yards. Will Howard, 21 of 31, 244, had the 2 touchdowns, had the 1 interception. It seems like it's like a half a second late on the throw, on the release.
And so that's part of the things I guarantee you Ryan will be pressing him in practice this week to speed up the clock, get through your reads, get through your progressions, pull the trigger quicker. I mean, he did some pretty nice stuff as well. Yeah, you hate to see that's the first interception in Ohio State. I think it's the first turnover they've had all year.
No, he had one. He had one against Marshall. He had the deep.
That's
deep
right.
throw
The one-on-one on the sideline. So second pick of the year. You'd love to see those get limited. Obviously,
that one was worse than the JJ one because that was straight into double coverage.
Oh yeah, it was ill-advised toss to say the least. But he did do some good things, like the one-handed catch to JJ Smith for the touchdown. You know, he does a great job resetting. Trey picks up blitz.
Well, that was Devin, right?
Or was that Devin?
That was Devin because Will went out with I don't know if it was ribs or whatever, because he got smoked in the chest by a Michigan State defender.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was a great play. Yeah, quarterback. That was Devin. So Devin showed some good stuff too. So I thought there was a lot of positives to take away. Some people are overly concerned. Like, you're not going to win every game 63-0.
It's a Big Ten road game.
Like, Michigan State's not a bad team. Now, the record may not be great because the rest of the year, like, they have Murderers Row coming up.
This is the start of a brutal stretch for them.
Ohio State, Oregon, Iowa, Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois. Like, Indiana and Illinois you didn't think would be great, but the reality is they're pretty good now. You know, Michigan's still pretty decent. So they've got Oregon next week at Oregon. So they play Oregon. That's the film you'll be watching, obviously, a lot of before Ohio State heads out there. And there's a lot of good things, but then also part and parcel with that, like, there's going to be things that you got to work on.
Yeah, pass defense.
You got to see a little bit of a three linebacker set to start the game. People always questioning. I thought Arvell Reese did a good job, played pretty well.
I also think he's earned his right to be in there.
Yeah, he's done a great job. He's put the weight on. He looks good. He's, he responds well. Like, there's a lot of positives to be able to take from that.
Bill Bender of the Sporting News, he's going to join the program. But before, congratulations to Lou of Worthington. He's the winner of the Sonic Temple Festival.
Lou.
He knew that he needed to be caller number 3. Again, Bill Bender of the Sporting News, he's going to join us. We'll recap a great weekend of college football with him coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we are still watching some lane restrictions on the ramp from I-70 eastbound to I-71 northbound downtown. The right lane slightly blocked off on that ramp. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Scott from the Cleveland area has coached girls basketball and supported his granddaughter's athletic pursuits.
My granddaughters have worked hard to excel in sports. It's tough enough. So the idea that Sherrod Brown voted to allow transgender biological men to compete in girls' sports, it's unfair and dangerous. And introducing a bill to allow biological men in girls' locker rooms? Biological men to shower in my granddaughter's locker room? No way. I worry about the safety of my family constantly. Now I have to worry about Sherrod Brown's crazy liberal ideas. I thought Sherrod Brown was on my side, but he's way too liberal for me.
Sherrod Brown has let Ohio down. Now he's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Hey folks, Bobby Carpenter here. I picked up my brand new Toyota Tundra last week and I absolutely love it. From my guy Marcello at Gerdeman Toyota. And right now, you can lease the powerful Toyota Tundra SR5 for just $409 per month. That's 36 months, 10,000 miles per year. Built to handle tough jobs and thrilling journeys. The Toyota Tundra SR5 is the ultimate companion for work and play. These deals are rolling out fast, so don't wait. Visit Gerdeman Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at GermainToyota.net. Offer ends soon. See dealer for details.
The higher your credit card rate, the longer it will take you to pay off your balances. Plus, you're paying a lot more interest than you need to. Switch to a Platinum Rewards Visa from Kemba Financial Credit Union with super low everyday rates on purchases, a full year interest-free on balance transfers, and unlock unlimited 2% cash back for a limited time. You'll also get exclusive perks like 24/7 support, ID theft protection, and roadside assistance. Apply at Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. Offer ends October 31st, 2024.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
With so much in one place, Meijer is the only stop you'll need to make. Save big with weekly deals going on now. Like California red or black seedless grapes, only $1.49 per pound. Fresh from Meijer 80% lean ground beef, just $4.99 a pound. And Meijer shredded, sliced, or chunk cheese, 3 for $6. You can always count on low prices and great quality at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See these deals and more in-store or in the Meijer app.
APCO, windows, siding, and decks. Business First says we're the largest remodeler in town. Our philosophy is simple. We don't rely on sales gimmicks to get our customers. We rely on our reputation.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
Columbus, the wait is over. Blue Jackets hockey is back. Come feel the boom all season long. Be here Tuesday, October 15th for the home opener, presented by Nationwide. Get your tickets today at BlueJackets.com.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444 roof.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BREAK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BREAK to 321-321. That's BREAK to 321-321.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Bobby played football for Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick. Beamer played football for a drunk named Joe who worked at the gas station. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Coming up here tomorrow at the same time, Anthony Schlegel. He's going to join us live tomorrow morning, Schlegs. As of right now, though, our Reaction Monday friend as we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. He is from the Sporting News. He is Bill Bender. Bill, happy Reaction Monday to you, buddy. All kinds of good stuff this weekend across college and pro. We'll start you up in East Lansing, though, for a little Buckeye flair. What did you make of Ohio State's first road test of the season with a 38-7 victory against Sparty up in their house?
Yeah, they made that look routine. Obviously, Michigan State was fired up, but when the energy wore off and reality set in, I think the defense travels. You hear that phrase all the time, and the Buckeyes defense looked really good. Jeremiah Smith made a couple fantastic catches. I mean, starting to think the two best receivers in the country are freshmen between him and Ryan Williams, and that's quite amazing. And, Ohio State's just taking care of business. I think they're complete. They're one of two teams that rank in the top 5 in the country in scoring offense and scoring defense, with Tennessee being the other. And you told me Tennessee and Ohio State we're going to play in a national championship game. I wouldn't hate that idea.
That wouldn't be the worst thing, obviously, in the world. Tennessee looking good. Your thoughts if we stay in the SEC, Ole Miss getting upset by Kentucky?
Yeah, sometimes coaching matchups are just so interesting. I took Ole Miss to cover in that game, even though in the last 2 matchups, Kentucky had kept it within 1 score. So when they got into the fourth quarter, they make a great conversion from Brock Vandagriff to Barry Brown, and that sets that up. They kept Ole Miss off the field. They had 40 minutes of time of possession, and Mark Stoops, maybe that Georgia game wasn't a fluke, and maybe the South Carolina loss was. And when you play that Kentucky defense, you're going to have some issues. Stunned it happened at home, though, for Ole Miss. They were a team that was looking like the other national championship contenders.
He is Bill Benner, the Sporting News, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Before we get to the Bama-Georgia situation in which we saw unfold on Saturday night, Bill, let's take you back to Friday night. Because Virginia, we were really close. We had the Ole Miss upset against Kentucky, and we were really close to having a big upset from the Hokies going down to Miami and taking down Miami. Completed a Hail Mary at the end of the game, and then for some reason called a touchdown on the field, went back, called it incomplete. I still don't know what happened, and we're sitting here many hours removed from the final of that game.
Yeah, and depending on who, social media is really divided on whether or not he caught the ball. I thought he caught it. And then I get on and then I start watching and I was like, well, maybe he didn't. Regardless, it showed a couple things with Miami that are areas of concern. And they missed a lot of tackles in that game. They were trailing at halftime. They had 2 turnovers in the first half that Virginia Tech turned into 14 points. Cam Ward is going to put up good numbers and make a ton of plays. But, man, Virginia Tech had that game and ran the ball well. So, for Miami, their schedule's set up that they should be able to make that run. But I still think Clemson's the best team in the ACC now. I'm starting to change, or at least I changed my mind. They've scored over 50 points a game, or 40 points in every game since they lost to Georgia, and Cade Klubnik's playing really well.
So, and I don't disagree with you in that. It seems like Clemson probably is the most complete. They may not be a true national championship contender, but probably the best team in the ACC. You mentioned that Georgia, playing Clemson, obviously Georgia Bama, the big game of the Saturday night. Bama jumps out to that huge lead, and it felt to me like going into the game, if the game was in the 30s, I thought it favored Bama with their offense. Does it show more that maybe Bama's explosive, or is it, I wouldn't say an indictment, but is this Georgia offense maybe not quite what it was without McConkey and Bowers?
I think that was part of it. Carson Beck obviously struggled in the first half, and I think Georgia just can't run the ball like we're used to seeing. Even with Trevor Etienne, they could not get that running game going as well as they normally do. I think Jalen Milroe is fantastic. Mm-hmm. He'll be the Heisman Trophy front runner. How he's able to stress out defenses between the run and the pass, and like I said, Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith, I don't know if I need another receiver. He is fantastic. And that spin move through the 2 defenders was amazing. They made the plays in crunch time. That back-to-back touchdown pass, that was good stuff. And I think I wrote about that Saturday night, and I said that was like watching the best Sunday night football game. It was better than this week's Sunday night football game.
He is Bill Benner, the Sporting News, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. The way that Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith play differently, too, I don't really know how to describe it. Like, Ryan Williams is almost like trying to tackle water, Bill, because he did it a couple times against Georgia where, he's putting on the brakes, he's throwing spin moves, going up and grabbing the ball off of people, having that bobbling catch. Like, both of those guys are absolutely terrific, and I think you're right. I think the best 2 receivers in the country are probably freshmen. Not to be outshined what JJ did either against Michigan State, back-to-back one-handed catches, one going for a deep bomb, the other one going for a touchdown.
Yeah, and the talent is just absurd in both cases. I think when you look at Jeremiah Smith, he has 6 total touchdowns this year, and the comparison to Terrell Owens is probably apt. If you want to compare him to anybody, I mean, I don't remember Terrell Owens in college. He obviously played Chattanooga, but that's the track where he's just big, physical, acrobatic, all of the tools, and a great target for Will Howard. How about Devin Brown stepping in, too? That was another one, too. Will Howard, he goes down. It looks scary. Devin Brown, 1 pass, 1 touchdown. Not too bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Bill, top 4 teams right now for you in college football. Not asking for the teams that are going to get the 4 buys, just top 4 teams right now as we're at about the 1/3 mark through the season.
Well, I think Alabama, Texas, Ohio State, and Tennessee, and that might aggravate some Ohio State fans having these SEC teams leapfrog them, but they have the benefit of all these top 5 matchups. All Ohio State has to do is continue to win the games. Like I said, between the offense and the defense, when you have a top 5 scoring offense, top 5 scoring defense, that stat tracks during the season. So I'm anxious to see on October 19th, we'll see some more separation because you'll have Georgia play Texas, you'll have Tennessee play Alabama, and Ohio State, the key is just every week. This week at Iowa, excited. I'll be going to that one this week. Excited to get in the press box. Excited to see how Ohio State matches up against what's traditionally a tough Iowa defense. And Caleb Johnson's a pretty good running back, so they're going to test the Buckeyes. I think this will be their toughest test and a good one to set up the Oregon game.
Absolutely. And then one of the toughest tests maybe that Notre Dame will be facing all year. They took on Louisville at home, controlled that game early. Louisville made a push late, but I thought that was maybe the most complete game that Notre Dame has played thus far, and I thought it was critical, Bill, for them to want to make the playoff. Like, they needed a signature win, and this is about as good as you're going to get on their schedule.
Yeah, and they need USC to keep winning, so they have a stage at the end of the year. As much as we thought they were left for dead after the Northern Illinois loss, if you look at the rankings, they're creeping up, and all of those one-loss teams, you're kind of like, well, I mean, they're fine. So they do have to win out. Right, like you said, Riley Leonard, his most accurate game, added something in the running game. They got a good running back tandem too with Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love, and their defense is good. They have a really good secondary. Louisville missed some opportunities there, though. 4th and 1, late in the game, they take and delay a game. They have a couple turnovers. I still think that's a good football team, and they probably feel like they let one get away.
Bill, thanks as always for the time. Have a great Monday. Sorry about your Packers yesterday. You shouldn't give up 28 straight points to open a game. Always appreciate it, buddy. Have a great week, and we'll check in again next Monday, all right?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, don't start 28-0 hole. You might do all right. You guys have a great week.
See you, Bill. There he goes. Bill Bender of the Sporting News with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We have a duel of words between current Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback and former Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback. That and Quick Hitters next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning and happy Monday. Watch for some lane restrictions on the ramp from 70 eastbound to 71 northbound in the downtown area. Other than that, the rest of your central Ohio roadways moving along right up to speed. Seeing busy traffic on 33 out in Canal Winchester and on I-71 near Polaris. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Dormar, your pilot hero.
Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarhvac.com.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. It seems like everything we hear these days is about political races, and yet there's a far more important race that you run for yourself every day. It's the race to be the best that you can be. But if your libido is low, if your workouts aren't productive, if you've got brain fog and you're tired all the time, you may feel like you're losing that race, and maybe even that your best days are behind you. But the truth is that they're likely not, because if you're feeling like this, it's probable you're simply suffering from low testosterone, a condition that affects a huge percentage of men as we age. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. We've successfully treated thousands of men for the condition, and if you're like most guys, you'll start seeing results in just a few weeks. Better sleep patterns, higher energy, improved mental clarity, more productive workouts, and your libido will likely increase as well. So get back to winning your race by calling us. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Toyota began a revolution over 20 years ago with this iconic name, the Prius. A revolution that proved there's more than one way to reduce your carbon footprint. Toyota believes the power of choice should be yours because it's not just battery EVs, fuel cells, and plug-ins. Toyota has more hybrid EVs than anyone else, including the best-selling Camry, RAV4, and the all-new Tacoma. Toyota is electrified, diversified, and the choice is yours. Toyota. Let's go places.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
If you're obsessed with fantasy sports and gambling things, we have the slightly above average radio show for you. On the Money with Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Presented by the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
Wednesday night at 8 on The Fan.
Hello, I am a serious announcer hired to deliver a serious announcement. Get an Apex Pros winter tune-up for your furnace right now for only $29. Notice we are simply giving you the facts. Just $29 to make sure your furnace is ready for the upcoming Ohio winter. We know how you enjoy our usual fun and funny commercials. Hello? Beg pardon? Well, I see no reason to bring my mother into this. Good day to you, sir. Where was I? Oh, yes. A $29 tune-up will make sure your furnace runs safely and warmly all winter. That's serious. I'm serious. That's why we're not doing the usual that you've come to expect from Apex Pros. None of this or this nonsense. $29 for a furnace tune-up from Apex Pros. The pros who knows? Knows? Is that really how you say it? The pros who...
Apex Pros, the official plumber of the Columbus Blue Jackets. ApexPros.com.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards golf lessons to become a scratch golfer. Progressive cannot guarantee that you will ever become a scratch golfer. Scratch golfers are really, really good. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, and sure, you could put that money towards lessons, but if you can't hit the broadside of a barn and think you're going to become a scratch golfer, you're delusional. Sorry, just telling it like it is. Savings? Maybe. Scratch golfer? Don't hold your breath. Switch and see if you can save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates. Not available in all states. It's universally accepted that golf is hard. Progressive cannot guarantee improved performance on the course.
Check it out, the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence. At Verizon, you can get it when you trade in any phone from one of their top brands.
Any?
Any.
Even if it's 4 years old?
Yeah.
Even if it's 4 years old and I drop it on the sidewalk?
Yep.
Even if it's 4 years old and I drop it on the sidewalk, then a scooter runs it over, so now it's not just old and cracked, but shattered?
With Verizon, the answer is always yes. New and existing customers can trade in any phone from one of our top brands in any condition for the new iPhone 16 Pro with Unlimited Ultimate. Trade-in terms apply. See Verizon.com for details. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, cloudy with a few showers, high 77. Showers on your Tuesday, and tomorrow we may even get a quick thunderstorm, high 79. Sunny on Wednesday with a high of 73. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Just a couple of dudes being guys.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
You're listening to Morning Juice.
We here on The Juice brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can always visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sharky?
Yes, sir.
Happy Monday.
Is it?
Well, you had a good Buckeye game on Saturday.
We did get that. Thanks, Beam, for brightening my day. On a podcast earlier this month, Baker Mayfield, he talked about the differences between him and his
quarterback predecessor at Tampa Bay, a guy by the name of Tom Brady. He said Buccaneers teammates were stressed out by Brady's intensity. Yesterday, Brady broadcast the game between Baker and the Bucs in Philadelphia and had this to say.
I thought stressful was not having Super Bowl rings. So there was a mindset of a champion that I took to work every day. This wasn't daycare. If I wanted to have fun, I was going to go to Disneyland with my kids. There's a way to approach this game, and it's that with the right mindset and try to push each other outside of our comfort zone, and great teammates do that. You come in, I have someone like Gronkowski, I have someone like Evans. There's high expectations for us. We got to make sure we go out there and deliver.
The competitive juice is still flowing.
Still in there.
I love it.
No apologies.
After the game beamer, Baker said he meant no disrespect to Brady and his comments were misinterpreted, but the damage was done.
Yeah. Tom went full flamethrower mode on that, and I have no problem with what Baker said because I watched the podcast clip last night, Bob, where he's talking about it, and he was just like, yeah, they wanted me to come in and be myself. They didn't want me to be Tom 2.0. I'm not Tom Brady. Like, I'm a different kind of a guy. And so I think that was kind of lost in there. And Baker said, he's like, I talked to Tom before the game. I mean, there's no ill will from Tom's side to me or from me to Tom. Like, it just, something kind of got lost in the air. But yeah, I mean, when you hear the context of what Baker's saying, it sounds a little bit different than when Shark is just reading it off like, yeah, they were stressed. It was a high-strung environment. They're much happier to have me here. Like, that's not what Baker was trying to say at all.
No, Baker's a different person than Tom is. And so just be authentically you. Don't try to be Tom 2.0, which is what they said. Baker's definitely not. He's more of a fun, front-running type of dude. I mean, Tom is
he loves football. He loves football. He's got a chip on his shoulder, and he'll do anything to try to win.
But there's a positivity. Not that Tom's a negative guy, but it's serious. You're trying to come into work. Yeah. Let's have fun. I'll take my kids to Disneyland. Like, that's the great.
I thought it was a great line.
It's a great line out of Tom. Like, we're coming in here to win. The fun is in the winning.
Football is fun to you?
Zero fun, sir.
The new AP College football poll shows UNLV ranked 25th this week. First time ever.
That's a travesty. The fact that they're ranked over Rutgers is disgusting. Rutgers is significantly better than them. But continue.
It is the first time ever that the Runnin' Rebels have been ranked, and this comes on the heels of starting quarterback Matthew Sluka leaving the team last week in an NIL dispute after UNLV crushed Fresno State 59-14 on Saturday. Coach Barry Odom had this to say.
Many have expressed very strong opinions about the events of last week. Without full knowledge of the facts, without full knowledge of the events of last week, and without full knowledge of the rules in the ever-changing, evolving NIL system. And regrettably, some have even used this circumstance as a platform for their own agendas. I respect everyone's right to an opinion, and I won't comment on others' opinions or their motivations for expressing them. Rather, I'll say only that our football program complied with applicable rules, and subject to those rules, we're fully committed to the development and the success of every student athlete in our program.
See, that doesn't answer the question.
No, it doesn't.
You followed the rules. Okay, I get that. Did your offensive coordinator promise Sluka $100,000? Right. That's the question that needs to be answered.
Well, we follow the rules.
And if he wants to say we follow the rules, we do things internally, we'll keep that, then the answer is yes. If you're not going to answer that. Now, do they need Sluka? Probably not. I mean, obviously they're ranked, they're getting wins, and things are good. But
it's a pretty decent Fresno State team. I mean, their only loss in the season was to Michigan.
What's interesting is there was, I guess, one of the casino bosses or something out there said that they would raise $100,000 to get to Sluka.
That's pocket change for them.
Well, that's what they said. That was like literally the comment. But I guess it's too late. And I don't know if they need him anyway.
I don't know. I mean, this Haj Malik Williams character that filled in for him was 13 of 16, 182 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air, and then on the ground he rushed it 12 times for 119 and a touchdown.
There you go.
Yeah, so no Sluka, no problem for UNLV. Now, to be fair to them, I'm with you on Rutgers. I think Rutgers should be ranked. I don't know how that they aren't right now, but UNLV was 25th in the coaches poll.
I don't care. Rutgers would beat UNLV by at least 10 points.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I'm just saying from last week they were receiving votes.
Rutgers wasn't receiving any. It's what they should have been.
Travesty.
Anthony Richardson's rookie season with the Colts last year was over after just 4 games due to a shoulder injury, which required surgery. Game 4 this season, another injury for Richardson. This time it was a hip injury. Suffered on a 14-yard run in the first quarter. Joe Flacco came to the rescue and finished the game. Afterwards, Beamer Richardson said his hip is sore, but it's not a serious injury.
Yeah, who could have predicted that was going to happen? I know that the Steelers defense had a little bit of trouble, especially when Joe Flacco came into the game. But didn't we call this? Like when we were doing our picks, I know that we both took the Steelers to cover in this game and that Anthony Richardson was going to have problems with that defense. Like the way that he plays football traditionally will tell you that he is going to get hurt. And he runs the ball, he throws his shoulder, he doesn't get down for slides, he embraces contact. Like that's what happens, especially when you go up against a defense like Pittsburgh, who for my money is the hardest hitting defense in the league.
Yep, and they knocked him out of the game. Good news is they had Joe Flacco. Bad news for the Browns. Indianapolis has Joe Flacco. And Joe Flacco came in and played well, but this is always going to be a problem with Anthony Richardson. Like it was the problem last year. It's a problem this year, unless he changes the way he plays, which I don't know if he changes how he plays, if he'll be as effective, but we'll see what happens. But they've got some issues of how to deal with that, and the good news is they have a pretty viable backup who looked really good yesterday.
Yeah, he looked good last year when he was playing too, and now he's looking okay in this game. Again, I mean, a win against the Steelers, that's nothing to shrug your shoulders at, man. That's big. You had to get a win at home. They were able to do that. You handed the Steelers' first loss of the season right to them at a home game. So we'll see what the Colts continue to do, if Anthony Richardson's going to be back in the lineup or if they're going to continue to roll with Joe Flacco. College football lived up to the hype on Saturday night. We'll get into that coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and happy Monday right now. We are still watching some lane restrictions on the ramp from 70 eastbound to 71 northbound in the downtown area. Watch for the right lane blocked on that ramp. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stutterwald with your fan traffic.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarhvac.com.
What John Smiley, Chairman and CEO, wants you to know about First Bank of Central Ohio.
Our competitive advantage is the number of years we've been in Central Ohio and the fact that we're able to make decisions here locally that make sense for the client. At the end of the day, it's the ability for us to say, okay, what can we do to make your banking easier for you?
Experience what it's like to be first at fbcentralohio.com. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Celebrate football season with the one and only Schmitz. A Columbus tradition like no other, Schmitz has been serving up delicious Bahama Mamas, sausages, cream puffs, and more for well over a century. Stop into the historic German Village restaurant for lunch or dinner. And after your meal, bring home the most delicious tailgate spread for the big weekend. Schmitz Sausage Haus in historic German Village or online at schmidthaus.com. Why tailgate when you can Schmidtgate?
At Baths R Us, we're terrible roofers. We stink at installing siding. And don't ever call us for your kitchen remodel. But if you want a stunning, beautiful bathroom makeover in just 2 or 3 days, now that's when you want to call us. See, unlike most contractors these days, we offer only one service, bathroom remodeling. We don't spread ourselves thin by doing roofing or siding and a bunch of other stuff. Nope. At Baths R Us, we dedicate every company resource into mastering the craft of bath transformations. It's why we're the Midwest's biggest 5-star family-owned bathroom company. And it's why we have the happiest customers. Just check out our Google reviews. Baths R Us. We're terrible roofers, but we're awesome bathroom remodelers. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
This is Ryan Krieger, and at Krieger Ford, we know life's busy. Let us handle your car care. Enjoy our convenient pickup and delivery service, or have our technicians come to you with our mobile service van. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today, only at KriegerFord.com.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling, 1-800-COOLING.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of The Pen, and I've got the perfect play.
Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing kit. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable. And one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction, and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan.
Good morning. I'm Mark the Shark. Of the 155 teams to start 0-4 since the NFL merger in 1970, only the 92 Chargers were able to rebound and make the playoffs. The 0-3 Bengals did not want to face that fact. They went to Charlotte and beat the Panthers 34-24. In Las Vegas, the Browns jumped out to a 10-0 lead, but the Raiders scored 20 straight points and wound up beating Cleveland 20-16. Also in the AFC North, the Steelers fell at Indianapolis 27-24. The Ravens crushed the Bills 35-10. So the standings show Pittsburgh at 3-1. Baltimore is 2-2. Cleveland and Cincinnati 1-3. In baseball, Freddie Benavides got his first win as interim manager of the Reds. On the final day of the season, Cincinnati scored 3 in the 10th to beat the Cubs 3-0. Cleveland's season finale was rained out against Houston. The Sports Center is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Thanksgiving's coming fast, and with Awaken 180, you can be thankful for dropping 30 or more pounds by Turkey Day. Awaken180weightloss.com.
It's Reaction Monday, where our highly trained experts talk football.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
Your home for reaction and overreaction, The Fan. If you can find a show that's closer to Buckeye football, it would be hosted by Ryan Day. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Hour number 2 of the program for us on a Reaction Monday. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Coming up here 7:33 this morning. Tony Gerdeman, Buckeye Huddle. He's going to join the program. He was in East Lansing watching the Buckeyes take down Sparty 38-7 in their Big Ten road opener. And then at 8:33, Joshua Perry, he's going to join us as he always does on a Reaction Monday. We'll talk some college ball with him a little bit later on.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Before we get to football, start with baseball. Reds 3, Cubs nothing. 27 innings of
strong.
27 innings of scoreless baseball for them to finish the season until the 10th inning yesterday. They beat the Cubs 3-0. They finished 77-85, 16 games back in the division. Guards dropped their final 2 to the Astros, which is a very high likelihood of who they'll be seeing in the second round of the playoffs, as they earned thereby no game in Cleveland yesterday. J-Ram hit his 39th homer on Saturday, and we couldn't find a way to get it in.
That's ridiculous, Shark. Your sport is embarrassing. The fact that you hold these numbers in such high esteem, and we want to sit there and just smash Bonds and all these other guys for the things they did, but yet, because the game didn't mean anything for the playoff standings, we're not going to play it. We play 162. That's why everything plays itself out and all these other things. And then you just don't play it.
It was a meaningless game.
Not for J-Ram, it wasn't.
Yeah, for J-Ram, it was a history.
For the numbers,
for the 4 other games this year. I mean, Bob, this happens every year. Teams don't play 162 games
that's my point.
Every year.
So don't give me the sanctity of these stupid records then if everybody doesn't play.
I didn't say anything about the sanctity. You are talking about.
No, you're telling me Bonds and all these guys.
Again, let's go back 2 years ago to when the Bengals and Bills game got canceled.
That's the first time it's ever happened because a guy died on the field.
it had nothing to do with the guy dying. It had everything to do with they weren't going to back up the playoffs to get that game in, which is
because you can only play games once a week. You can play 4 games a day in baseball. You sit on your can for half the game. The other half you stand in the outfield.
Whatever.
And then you go up and swing a bat 2 or 3 times.
I feel bad for J. Ram that he didn't have the plate appearances to be able to try and do the 40-40.
He had 600 plate appearances. He could have done it.
Well, I guess when you put it that way, he could have done it. But still, I mean, not having the opportunity.
You're supposed to be having 162 games. That's what he was promised.
How are we feeling? Because game 1 will be played in Cleveland on Saturday.
Yes.
So they have a week off. It's good. Get the arms rested. Get everybody ready to rock. Get the winner of the Tigers and the Astros. How are we feeling about that possible matchup?
Well, as we saw last year, the best 3 records in baseball were Atlanta, Los Angeles, and Baltimore. And none of them made it out of the first round, out of the divisional round. So the bye obviously didn't help. The Tigers have all the momentum in the world.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me if they beat the Astros in that series. It's just a best of 3, and the Tigers have the best pitcher in that series. So you just don't know how that's going to go. And we saw last year where we had a 5th seed meet a 6th seed in the World Series.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
I was watching a video, and we'll try to track it down for you. It was a Detroit Tigers broadcast, and they're talking to some fan in the stands. He's like, "This is a lucky pumpkin seed that Scooble threw me earlier in the year, all the way back in May. Now, why wouldn't he throw me a sunflower seed? Pumpkins mean October. It was a premonition." Like, you're losing your mind. You're absolutely losing your mind. So, yeah, you'll face the winner of the A's and the Tigers coming up here. Game number 1 will be played on Saturday. Those games, baseball games, get started tomorrow, I believe. So, playoff games, wild card rounds get underway tomorrow. Buckeyes 38, Sparty 7. Well, I'll do a little bit more of a breakdown coming up here in our next segment. Again, I mean, crux of the situation. I thought your pass offense was good. I think Will Howard wants that pick back. I'd need to see like a half a second quicker release on some of his throws. And then defense, first half, not that great. I mean, he allowed 199 passing yards throughout the game, but the second half, Bob, I mean, just totally put the clamps on, right? I mean, 60 total yards, and 30 of that coming on Michigan State's last possession.
Yeah, they've been a much better team defensively in the second half, even after the first couple of drives. Do a better job clamping it down. They forced some fumbles, did some things early. Obviously, after the interception, you'd like to see them handle the sudden change better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's something I think that was a little bit disappointing. But going into half, like 24-7, yeah, people were like, "Don't let the score fool you. This game wasn't how it looked." Like, kind of was. I mean, they forced some turnovers. Michigan State moved the ball a little bit. They got off the field for the most part. They were better on third downs than they were last week. Much better, actually. I think Michigan State was only 2 of 9. Yeah, 2 of 9 on third down. You forced 3 turnovers. You had some sacks. You beat a team
that's a big 4th down stop.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to sneak it over the top. Cody jumped over the top and ate his face.
Yes, yeah, he did.
I'm like, milk was a bad choice.
Yeah,
like, that's the best.
First of all, there was no push from the Michigan State offensive line. So I mean, Cody is right there.
And just jumped over top of him.
Just jumped over top.
It was amazing.
And had the stop. So we'll break that game down a little bit more coming up here in our next segment. Bengals 34, Panthers 24. A couple of takeaways from this game. So to be very clear with you, we were on our way back from St. Louis yesterday, and I was listening to a little like NFL whip around show, which was pretty good because they were jumping into local radio stations and the play-by-play game. So it was good. I was keeping an eye. Really, it was the first 2.5 quarters. We got back just in time to watch the 4th quarters of the 1 o'clock window. So that was cool. But it just sounded like Andy Dalton had a way better game than Bryce Young. And obviously last week, they beat the Raiders. We knew that this Bengals offense was good. Look at the Commanders game, again, from last week. The offense wasn't the problem last week, and it certainly was not the problem this week. 34-24, Bengals get it done. Joe, 232, 2 touchdowns, had the 1 pick, which he was very, very fired up on the sidelines from.
Yeah.
I think it was Jamar. I think it was Jamar who he was trying to target, wanted him to keep running, and he kind of stopped his route. And Joe threw it right to a couple of Panthers defenders there. He's on the sideline freaking out nearly tossed the tablet. But all in all, Bengals' first victory of the season, 34-24. You did your job. You covered the spread. You went down there and you got your first win of the year.
Looked like it get a little dicey there in the second half. You had a nice little lead. Panthers started moving the ball. I'll say this. I mean, Andy Dalton looks 100 times better than Bryce Young.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, obviously he's a young player and he's got some work that needs to be done, but there's a night and day difference between those two guys and how that offense looks. I mean, the Bengals finally look good. They look good against one of the worst teams in the NFL.
It was 31-14 at one time.
It was, and the Panthers made a push. Is it too little, too late? Well, we'll see. Obviously the Ravens getting a win yesterday. Yeah. Pittsburgh losing brings them back a little bit, and honestly, I think the Browns, I'm ready to write them off for the season based upon what I've seen. Yeah.
Browns funeral?
I don't think they have it.
So, I mean, Kevin Stefanski's really good at scripting plays. I mean, Shark, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, the Browns have scored on every first possession that they've had on offense,
yes, right? 3 touchdowns and a field goal.
Okay, so yesterday, first possession of the game, I mean, it was like clockwork. 15 plays, 70 yards, almost 10 minutes off the game clock. Go down, great drive, touchdown, feeling good. And you turn it around and you score a field goal. I mean, what, 8 plays or 6 plays, something like that? You go down, you're up 10-0, you're on the road, and then all of a sudden it was Raiders touchdown. Punt, 3 and out. Raiders field goal. We're tied 10-10. Threw the pick right off of Amari Cooper. I mean, you got to bring that ball down. Oh, you're up 13-10 at one point, or excuse me, you're down 13-10 at one point against the Raiders, and then it turns into 20-10. And at that point, Shark, when you guys were down 20-10, I mean, I felt like that game was over. Now you had the fumble return touchdown, which makes it 20-16. I thought the game was over when it was 20-10. It just seemed like there was no pop left in that team. Myles Garrett played maybe 15 plays in that game.
I don't know what his final snaps were, but he wasn't out there much. Had a couple sacks, but he wasn't out there much.
Yeah, I think it was 15 or whatever it was. The other plays that he was not on, the plays where he didn't make a sack, he was getting held as well. It was good enough. The Browns' performance was good enough on defense to allow them for it to be a 20-16 football game. You get the ball back, Shark. You get the ball back. You throw a touchdown pass to Amari Cooper, and they call the hold. I don't know how often that hold call is actually called. It didn't look like it. They did the reverse angle, and it was like his offhand who had grabbed the Raiders defensive lineman's jersey. I mean, there was a tug there. I don't know how the ref had spotted it. They went to, who was it, Mike Pereira or whoever's
It was Sterator.
Okay, they went to Gene Sterator, and he's like, guys, I don't know about this. And then they saw the reverse angle. And like at that point, the ref has to throw the flag. But you went ahead only to have it be taken back. And then you get all the way down to what? The 10-yard line? 9. Yeah. They were inside of the 9-yard line. It's a 4th and 3, and I think the storyline of the game for the Browns, offensive line collapses, and Deshaun's under siege and can't do anything with the ball. That game wasn't on Deshaun Watson. That game was not on Deshaun Watson.
The line was really bad. Line was really bad. I mean, Ford ripped off a nice run on that final drive, like a 30-yarder to put him in a good spot to have a chance to score. They just like this. It just disjointed is, I would say, the best way to describe the Browns. They cannot string together consecutive plays and series of success. They just look very, very disjointed. They start fast on offense. Defensively, they'll make some plays, have some meltdowns, turnover like here and there. Just they don't look coherent. They don't look cohesive. It's disjointed. Like that's the only way I know how to describe it.
Yeah, it's bad for them. So Brownies fall to Vegas. In Vegas, and now to turn around for them. I mean, they're 1-3. You're going to Washington coming up. And by the way, Washington, who beat the Bengals last Monday night, absolutely smoked the Cardinals out in the desert yesterday. Smoked the Cardinals. So it doesn't get any easier for the Browns. It's one of 3 straight road games for them. They're at the Commanders, and then they're at the Eagles, who are having some of their own problems. But yeah, not a great start. 1-3 might be a Browns funeral. Time for that. The Bama-Georgia game was awesome. I mean, was it not?
Oh, yeah. It was good to the last drop, Beam. I enjoyed the heck out of it. And, we ended up flipping over, and thankfully it started later. Like, that game's over. I'm like, Georgia will make a push.
It's college football. It's not NFL.
Now, how much of a push you'll remains to be seen. But that always happens. When you get a big lead, it's tough to continue to play like that against a team that's good because you're not going to be as aggressive on offense and defense because you're not going to put yourself in harm's way. And in doing that, you watch Georgia make a big push back. Just no Brock Bowers, no Ladd McConkey. That I think that is showing because if they cannot run the ball, Carson Beck is good, but he's not Jaden Milroe. He's not running around making plays with his legs. So they've got some issues there offensively and defensively. Like obviously, you saw Bama real. Now some of that's Milroe and Williams making plays on their own, but I don't think they're quite as impregnable as they've been the last couple years.
I mean, Milroe, when he's thrown the ball 33 times and has 374, completes it 27-33. Like it's a pretty damn good game. And then Carson Beck had to heave it 50 times because the Bulldogs only had 80 yards of rushing. Yeah, it was good till the last drop. I thought for sure, Bob. I'm like, I don't know if Alabama's going to get any nerves. And they turn right around after Georgia goes up in the game. And one play, 75 yards to Ryan Williams. I mean, it was crazy. That was a crazy college football game, and it lived every bit up to the billing. A lot of plays that were critical to Ohio State's win will not show up on the stat sheet. We'll get into that coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, we are still watching some lane restrictions on the ramp from 70 eastbound to 71 northbound. The right lane blocked on that ramp. Other than that, we're crash-free as you head out the door. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarhvac.com.
At Kroger Pharmacy, CARE is making it easy to get vaccinated. CARE is helping you stay protected from flu, COVID, and RSV. Seasonal vaccines are available 7 days a week with evening hours. CARE is giving you a shot at staying healthy this season. Walk in whenever is best and get multiple vaccines in one visit at your local Kroger pharmacy. So come and get the protection you need while protecting those around you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Visit Kroger.com/vaccines for more. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See site for details.
Save big money right now at Menards. Did you know the attic is a home's #1 source of heat loss? Adding fiberglass insulation to your attic is an effective way to keep warm air in and lower your utility bills by 15%. Plus, you can stack on more savings with additional federal tax credits on qualifying energy-efficient upgrades. Stop into Menards today and check out all the ways for insulating your home and save.
Save big money at Menards.
We're dealing at Reichert Ford.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at ReichertFord.com.
Right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
Breaking gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
At APCO Windows, there's no 35% off sales, no buy one, get one free, just our best bottom line price. So get multiple estimates. Just make sure one is from APCO.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can trust APCO.
APCO.com.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand. Listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
After 31 years in Washington, just how much has Sherrod Brown changed? When he first wanted our vote, he said this.
My allegiance will be to Ohio and to the communities in Ohio.
To Ohio? Sherrod Brown voted for amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants. And he voted to give them taxpayer-funded benefits, like free health care to illegals who get amnesty, Social Security checks, COVID relief checks, all to be paid for by you. And Sherrod Brown's open border policies have led to more fentanyl, dangerous gangs, even terrorists pouring into our country. So when Sherrod Brown says this,
my allegiance will be to Ohio and to the communities in Ohio.
Don't listen to what Sherrod Brown says. Watch what he does. Because Sherrod Brown doesn't vote for Ohio anymore. He's way too liberal for Ohio. American Crossroads paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AmericanCrossroads.org.
Democrats will do anything to win. Changing the rules, mail-in ballots, cheating, and even opening our borders, all to win at any cost. Now they have a new scheme, Issue 1. Issue 1 would create a redistricting commission aimed at overturning key protections against gerrymandering in Ohio. Protections approved by over 70% of Ohio voters to prevent this exact kind of political manipulation of voting districts. And the members of this mysterious commission are backed by foreign special interest groups. They're unelected, unaccountable, and completely beyond voter control. If they abuse their power, there's no way to vote them out or hold them responsible. Their only purpose is to take control of Ohio's politics and turn the state from red to blue. This isn't democracy, it's deception. Don't let the Dems continue to rewrite the rules to rig the system in their favor. Protect Ohio's voice. Vote no on Issue 1. Paid for by Ohio Works.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, 77 and cloudy with a 30% chance of rain. 63 is your nighttime low tonight with a few showers. Showers on your Tuesday with a high of 79. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hash browns and smackdowns. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Coming up here, 7:33 this morning in our next segment, Tony Gerdeman of Buckeye Huddle. He's going to join the program. We'll break down Ohio State's win against Sparty. Going to continue to do that right now. Biggest takeaway from this game for you is what, Bob? I mean, you look at the total yards, 483 to 246. Had some timely stops. Again, most of Michigan State's progress that they made and the damage that they did all came in the first half. I mean, they had 186 total yards in the first half. A $142 of that came through the air, 44 on the ground. I mean, in the second half, Bob, 60 total yards for Sparty.
So 3 of their drives, they had the turnover on downs. They go for it on fourth. Cody jumps over the pile, eats their quarterback's face.
Yeah.
Maiden Childs.
Julia Childs.
I mean, there was 10 things he hated about her, and he jumped over the top and took care of business. So they had, 60 some odd yards on that drive. They put together another drive. Ohio State forces the fumble. I think who was the first one? Was it Jordan?
Jordan
was the first one, then Lath had the punch out in the second. So they had about 60 yards on that one. And then the other drive, about another 60 yards. So they had 3 drives, 55 to 64 yards in there. Turnover on downs, 2 fumbles. So they were moving the football. They were making some gains. They were doing a lot of that through the air. There really wasn't as much running as there was some passes and picking up stuff. The defense was much better on third down, so it wasn't like they were converting third downs. They were just doing a good job in the early downs. Now, they were able to get off the field, and that's why people started messaging me. Don't let the score fool you. This team is flawed. They're not playing well. Well, okay, they were giving up yards. They ultimately got off the field with turnovers. If you hold them to a field goal, it's not the end of the world. I mean, that's a pretty good outcome as well. There's things they need to clean up. There's stuff in the pass coverage there that they need to work on. The reality is, Michigan State's got a couple good receivers. They've got a good young quarterback, and that was as well as I thought Childs played coming out of a game in quite some time. He looked good. He was accurate. There's the element where he can run the ball, so you have to make sure you take that into account. So I think that was kind of what I'm looking at is despite some early, quote, struggles, and I'll use that term loosely defensively, they only gave up 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
And that was off of a sudden change. Now, you want to be better off of that sudden change than they were, and you don't want to give up the 1-play touchdown drive despite the interception or whatever happens, however they get the ball deep in your territory. But outside of that, there's some stuff to clean up. But I thought it was another step in the right direction. We saw the 3 linebacker set. You saw some different things. They're slowly unveiling more and more of the defense and offense as they move along.
Jeremy on YouTube said this, and I think it's a good point. He says, it seems like the Buckeye deep plan of soft bend, don't break in the first half was on purpose. Came out in the second playing more man, sending blitzes, which they were a little more aggressive.
They haven't blitzed a lot this year, and they haven't had to. And so, that's part of that, that feast and famine. How aggressive do you want to be? And, sometimes you got to ratchet it up a little bit.
I just feel like this team on offense, too, could have done whatever they want. They could have done whatever they wanted to on Saturday night. Didn't you feel that way?
Yeah.
Like the offense was really clicking. I know we go back to the Akron game, we were having some issues, and let's work on Will, maybe releasing the ball a half a second earlier or a quarter second earlier. I think he's dragging a little bit on that. But it did seem that through the air specifically, you're going to want that pick back. But this team was doing really kind of whatever it wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, offensively, like you said, they rushed the ball well. They threw the ball well. Like you start looking at the stats of what they did. 8 of 17 on third down. Pretty good. Maybe you'd like to see 9 of 17 or 10 of 17. That'd be better. But you're over 50% on third down. 3 of 4 on fourth down, which was key. You were able to continue to do that. You have the 1 interception by Will. Obviously, that's so advised. You want to get that cleaned up. You threw it for almost 300 yards. You rushed it for $185. You spread it around really well. The penalties, 4 for 40, like pretty in check, and you held the ball for 35, almost 36 minutes. Like you checked a lot of the boxes of what you wanted to do. And could you have maybe scored a little bit more in the second half and try to push, lop another touchdown on there and get that thing beamed 45-7? Does that make you feel better?
Sure.
Maybe you push another touchdown or two in the fourth quarter, get to 48 or 45. Like, okay. But I thought, based upon where they did, it was 24-7 at half. They were firmly in control of that game, despite the fact that it was, 3-0, a little bit of a slower start. But then once they got rolling, which is what we've seen with this, it's almost the opposite of Stefanski with the Browns. Like, takes a little bit, feel it out, and then boom, once they've got a beat on you, Chip has that offense greased.
Yeah, they're like a boa constrictor is what they are. It's not like a pit viper, quick strikes. I mean, they can do this too on offense, but defensively, I think they're more like a boa constrictor. Ryan Day, here he was with Paul and Jim on the network after the game, just kind of assessing quickly after the game the defensive performance.
Early on, gave up a few things that we're going to get on film and get that cleaned up, but settled down nicely and like you said, really shut them down in the run game, and that's where it comes into play. I mean, if you can shut them down in the run game, it certainly makes it harder in the play action pass. And we were close to getting to him in the first half a little bit more. Had to hold on a little bit in coverage. We did that a little bit more in the second half.
And Ryan had mentioned that this week in his press conference. You shut down the run, you're going to have the ability to go sack the quarterback, and they did. They had 4 sacks in the game on Saturday.
Once you get a lead and you stop the run, then ultimately that changes the dynamic of what happens, because they get in a chase game, they feel like they have to throw, and they ultimately they feel like they have to throw, and they can't run the football anymore.
Yeah.
And so it's going to allow you to be far more aggressive than maybe you could have been otherwise.
How about Caleb Downs on Saturday too? He was good. He was really good on Saturday. Did you notice? And I mean, again, you and I probably watch the game a little bit differently. I'm more watching the line, more of a trench guy when I watch football, specifically Ohio State. The amount of times where Travion's picking up a block, especially on that Devin Brown touchdown to JJ.
Did a great job.
Emeka had one that was great. Carnell Tate had another one. JJ Smith had a block down
block when he pulled back around was awesome.
Yeah.
That was their middle linebacker, for heaven's sake.
Yeah. Like the amount of guys who are blocking downfield, Bob, and even though that they're not like in the play and are continuing to do their jobs down the field, I mean, that's a huge reason why this offense is successful when you got guys doing that.
Absolutely. I mean, that block by Emeka was awesome. Pulling around, middle linebacker, knocks him off his feet. Tremendous. You see Carnell Tate running down, blocking. Like, you know what I really like is how they get everybody involved. Like, early in the game, screen, open up to get Tate the ball. You see him getting Emeka involved, who, everyone saw how great JJ was, but Emeka was the leading receiver.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of nice catches. And then you see all those guys downfield blocking. It's tremendous.
Yeah, it was really great. So all in all, a good performance, 38-7. Tony Gerdeman of Buckeye Huddle, he was there. He's going to join us. We'll break down Ohio State's first road win of the season against Sparty with him next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. On your Monday, we're just watching some lane restrictions on the ramp from 70 eastbound to 71 northbound. Also watching busy traffic on 33 out in Canal Winchester and 161 out in New Albany. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stutterwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Green & Sons. Family owned and operated for over 45 years. Green & Sons will help you find your next Kubota tractor. Located in Mount Sterling and north of Marysville. And online at greenandsons.com.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Jerry. Have we spent enough time telling homeowners how much the name Eco can actually mean?
Well, I did name the company that, so yes.
I mean explaining that Eco can stand for how much better we can make your plumbing. Ecologically speaking.
Get Eco.
A tankless water heater, for example. Switching to tankless means your family has unlimited hot water. Shower after shower after shower, without having to use precious electricity to keep a big tank of water hot 24 hours a day. It's ecological.
Pretty good wordplay for a guy that almost failed English, don't you think?
Get Eco.
I think if more people knew they could help the planet just by taking a shower, I think we might be onto something.
That's not quite as ecological as the first thing you said, but okay.
You know, I'm working on inventing a new kind of junk mail that throws itself away.
And the planet thanks you, Jerry.
Get Eco.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota. Is it time for a new or used car? Visit Tansky Sawmill Toyota on the corner of Sawmill and 161, home of the Tansky Promise, where our salespeople aren't paid on commission. We have a 72-hour exchange policy, and every transaction is upfront and transparent. You can even start the process at home. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com to start your purchase today and to see all of this month's specials. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
The time to save big is now. It's Ford Truck Month at your local Ford dealer, and the time to buy is now. Make way for great offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks, featuring the built Ford Tough F-150 and Super Duty. Check out the versatile Ford Maverick and the capable Ford Ranger. But you can't wait. These limited truck month deals won't last. Check it all out at buyfordnow.com. Then get over to your local Ford dealer today. Hurry in, as these deals won't last long.
If you have an unhealthy obsession with the Blue Jackets, we have just the remedy. Join us Wednesday nights at 7 for the Inside Edge. All the Jackets and hockey conversation you can handle. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey guys, it's Anthony Rothman. If you're feeling at a loss for energy or just not upbeat like you used to be, it could be low testosterone. That's right, it affects our moods. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to your best. But guys have different T levels, so don't go for a standard dosage plan. Look for TRT with an optimized personal treatment plan, like you'll get with the experts at Low T Center. Do it now. Go to lowtcenter.com and book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
There's always time for the drive-thru deal. Because no matter how fast you are at making breakfast, McDonald's is faster.
Wake up to McDonald's breakfast and mix and match a classic sausage McMuffin, delicious sausage burrito, or crispy hash browns. Get any two for just $3. Order ahead in the app and pick up curbside. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer.
Common Man and T-Bone here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
We love that place so much, Mike. We're going back again to do a live broadcast.
Friday, October 11th. Be there, be a loser. 3 to 6. That's what time the show is.
I mean, we're losers for being on the show, but you can hang out with us and not be a loser.
We have lots of prizes to give away, including hockey tickets, and we're talking about the big football game they're going to be playing the next day.
Plus, we'll have a fan prize pack given away every hour of the show and stickers.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Are you ready to unleash the beast?
Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play.
run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing kit. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Beamer has a very punchable face, so Bobby punches it. This is Morning Juice.
Here's along here, little Reaction Monday edition of the program. Brandon Beam, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. So I was watching the game at the wedding ceremony on Saturday night. The amount of people that came up to me and looked at my phone that wanted to know actually what was going on in the Buckeye game, it was pretty astounding. I mean, it was a good amount of people.
Yeah. Want to know what's going on in the Buckeye game, Beam. Despite the fact you're at a wedding, they don't care about that. They want to see what's going on with the Bucks.
Yeah, of course, man. And again, I mean, so it's our cousin, Meredith's cousin, Meredith's aunt and uncle. He's getting married. He's the one. So it was great. I mean, it was pretty awesome. And I told you at the beginning of the show, the way that they had it set up, it was at a country club, and it was like in a ballroom, like in their banquet hall, basically. Mm-hmm. And the bar was offset right by, like on the side of the room. And our table was not like super close to the bar, but maybe like 40 feet away. They had a giant TV. So that had Bama and Georgia on one screen. And then I was sitting here watching the Buckeye game. So I was kind of dual barreling right there, which was nice.
Did you have like an earbud in to hear?
I didn't. I had the volume down. Wanted to make sure that the volume was down on the show.
You should have put like one AirPod, like one earbud in, and being able to listen to it the whole time.
So Meredith's aunt, I was not at I told you I didn't go to the wedding ceremony. William wasn't feeling great. He was a little bit sick this weekend. He still had a great time. And so on Saturday, if I get to the reception, again, didn't go to the wedding because I was hanging out, me and the boy, and get to the reception, and Meredith's aunt's like, thank God you made it here to the reception. No, you couldn't make it to the wedding. I'm like, I'm trying to stay out of your sight lines. Even before we went, I'm like, I'm trying to stay out of your sight lines this whole weekend.
Was she drunk?
I don't think at that point. I think she got there a little bit later on.
Listen, your crew wanted me to bring this guy.
Yeah, exactly. You wanted to see him. I have a responsibility as a parent to do that. I also watched a good chunk of the 3:30 college football games and the noon games by myself, which was fine.
The number one thing you should have said, hey, who gets married in the fall? Losers. Okay?
Well, I thought SEC, it just means more. They're both Vanderbilt grads. I'm like, come on, football.
They're going to sit
football season.
Yeah, they're going to champion all that nonsense. Who gets married during football season? Nobody. Nobody of consequence in my life, because if you are of consequence, you know that if you want me there, I'm just not going to go. I'll get you a gift and I'll send you a card and say, good job. Congratulations. Find another time. Maybe you can get married during a bye week, but even then, it's such a crapshoot. I don't want to hear about it.
I will say this. So we went, St. Louis, pretty cool town. Really cool. We stayed on the west side, so we stayed in Clayton.
Yeah, Clayton's a really nice area.
Clayton, Missouri. It was really cool. Like their downtown was pretty awesome. We did on the drive in, there was some traffic downtown, so we went the opposite way. But then driving home, I mean, we drove straight through St. Louis and got to see the Blues Arena and got to see Busch Stadium and the Arch.
Edward Jones Dome.
I didn't see the Jones Dome.
Probably drove by and just didn't notice it.
Okay. I didn't even think about that. So I thought it was a really cool town. I will say this though. So Sharky, have you ever been to St. Louis before? I know that you lived here, Bob. This is a hot point.
I've been to Busch Stadium.
Have you?
I've seen a game there.
Good for you. I've never
been a Progressive, but I've been to Busch.
It looked sweet. Have you been to St. Louis before, Shark?
Yeah, 3 or 4 times.
All right, so there's this place. It's called Imo's Pizza. IMO''S.
Sure it's not Imo's?
It might be Imo's. It might be Imo's, whatever. So toasted ravioli is like the big thing that St. Louis does, and like per capita has the most Italian restaurants like of any city in the country.
Does Rick Pitino like it there?
He might, yeah. Watch out for him to be the Bill. He's going to take the Billikens job. He's going to leave St. John's and take that one. So toasted ravioli, I guess, is a big thing there. So we went because we've heard nothing but good things. Like, you got to try Imo's or Imo's Pizza. We're like, okay, we'll try it. I don't know what the big deal is. Like, it's wafer cracker thin pizza, but it's got this thing. It's called Provel cheese. Now, I was thinking, I'm like, all right, Provolone. Maybe it's like a provolone. Have any of you tried the delicacy of Provel cheese before?
I've never even heard of that bean.
Shark?
Never heard of it.
All right, so Saturday after we take Willie to the little children's museum.
By the way, what is Jack Harbaugh yelling about in the press?
I don't know what he's doing up there. Who knows what he's got going on? And so we sit down. We're at this pizza place. So we get the toasted ravs. We're like, that's world class. Like, that's a great city staple. Claim the toasted ravioli. It had like sausage in it, cheese. We're unreal. We're very good. We get the pizza, and I'm like, is this correct? I'm like looking at it. So Provel cheese is like a cheese whiz, basically.
Ooh.
Almost like a cheese sludge that they put on their pizzas.
That sounds great.
I had one bite of it. I'm like, I can't do it. It is the first time, and look at me, for God's sake. It is the first time I took one bite of pizza and said, I'm done. I can't do it. It was disgusting.
Is that what they put on all their pizzas, or just like a special?
I think they put it on that at that place, Imo's, Imo's. I don't know if they put it on other St. Louis. It's like their most popular local chain.
Provel cheese is a white processed cheese prominent in St. Louis cuisine, a combination of cheddar, Swiss, and provolone. Provel has a low melting point and a gooey texture and
gross.
buttery flavor.
It's disgusting.
Provel cheese is the traditional topping cheese for St. Louis-style pizza and is also used in pasta sauces, cheese soup, salads, and sandwiches, such as the Gerber sandwich.
Yeah, baby food.
Rarely used or sold outside of St. Louis, Provel can be purchased at St. Louis area grocery stores such as Schnucks and Deerberg's markets. There you go.
It was gross.
It sounds disgusting.
Listen, you want to have your cultural things, that's fine. I had to try it for myself because everyone's like, you need to try it, you need to try it, you need to try it. I respect this good people of St. Louis for liking it. It was honestly top 5 worst things I've ever eaten in my life.
Really?
It was, Bob, it was so bad. It was so...
Who doesn't like Swiss, was it Swiss American and provolone all together?
It was really bad.
It's like the suicide of cheeses.
Yeah. Then we put a little Dr. Pepper, a little Mountain Dew.
Just mix them all together.
Some orange Fanta in here. Oh, yeah. Let's mix the cheeses and make it a super low melting point.
I feel like what they may have done is just it got created being because they had some leftover cuts of cheese and just
probably
throw them all together.
Melted it down. Let's put it on a pizza. If you put regular cheese on there, the crust was like way more thin than it was here.
I like a good thin crust.
Yeah.
So that element of it is enticing to me.
It was almost as thin as like a tortilla chip. Like it was, wafer thin.
Why did we have to put that gross Provel? Can I get it with a normal cheese?
I need to ask the next time I go back because it was awful. Like truly.
The people there were like hyping up the Provel like it was good.
Yeah, like that's their thing.
See, here's the deal. If it was that good, other people that went there, they would like it, and it would be then patronized outside of the city. So people start using this Provel trash other places because people come there like, this is gross. I don't want to eat this anymore, so it never leaves St. Louis.
The worst part about it was then at the wedding, you have your late night food.
That was the late night food?
It was the Provel cheese pizza. And I'm like, this is awful. It was truly.
We had White Castle sliders.
We had
tried to give the local Columbus flair.
What did we have as ours? Pizza, maybe? Skyline? I don't know. Something like that. And then a buddy of mine who lives in St. Louis, and he texts me, he's like, it's like the Skyline equivalent for St. Louis. I'm like, well, let's not go bashing Skyline. All right, I love Skyline. He's like, yeah, but I tried Skyline 5 times and I hated it. I'm like, okay, I guess that would kind of make sense.
Yeah, some people aren't big into the Skyline. Like, it's okay. I don't like desire it and need it, but I'll eat it.
Yeah.
Especially if it was the late night snack. That sounds like it would be fine. But I don't know if I would want that cheesy, gooey grossness. Like, that sounds awful.
Yeah, think of it as like a thicker, more viscous version of queso on top of a pizza.
That just sounds awful.
And the taste of like manufactured cheese.
Yeah, because it's the crappy parts of all the other cheeses that they have left over. They just blend it and melt it together.
It was disgusting. We're going to get juice next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, we're watching a crash on I-70 eastbound right as you're leading up to the 70-71 split. Expect some lane closures in those eastbound lanes. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Earn a $300 cash bonus when you open a new free checking account. Visit bmifcu.org/free for more details.
Scott from the Cleveland area has coached girls basketball and supported his granddaughter's athletic pursuits.
My granddaughters have worked hard to excel in sports. It's tough enough. So the idea that Sherrod Brown voted to allow transgender biological men to compete in girls' sports, it's unfair and dangerous. And introducing a bill to allow biological men in girls' locker rooms? Biological men to shower in my granddaughter's locker room? No way. I worry about the safety of my family constantly. Now I have to worry about Sherrod Brown's crazy liberal ideas. I thought Sherrod Brown was on my side, but he's way too liberal for me.
Sherrod Brown has let Ohio down. Now he's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444-ROOF.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at buyersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
The Buckeye Show.
I'd like to know where Lou Holtz is right now. I mean, I'm sure he's in bed.
I tell you what, Ryan, you better not be saying those things about me.
The Buckeye Show.
Presented by Coors Light and sponsored by CareSource.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
It's Customer Appreciation Week with special deals like select Kroger brand pasta sauce or pasta for only 99 cents each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Before you buy generic Viagra, try this hack to get 9 tablets for just $7. Prescription and shipping are free. All you need to do is go to FridayPlansRx.com and answer a few medical questions. A doctor reviews your answers and prescribes you online for free, if appropriate, 9 tablets of generic Viagra for just $7. Go to FridayPlansRx.com. Yes, that's right, 9 tablets for $7. FridayPlansRx.com. Restrictions apply. Paid for by FridayPlansRx.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, cloudy with a few showers, high 77. Showers on your Tuesday, and tomorrow we may even get a quick thunderstorm, high 79. Sunny on Wednesday with a high of 73. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Saturday is game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Riker Ford.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. If Bobby and Beamer aren't talking about it, it's not worth your time anyway. You're listening to Morning Juice.
We hear the Juice brought to you by our great friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can always visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Bob, it's a big Monday here, buddy. Reaction variety. Buckeyes getting a big win on Saturday. Split for the Bengals and Browns. What's got you fired up today?
Oh, goodness, Beam. What has got me juiced? Well, you know what? We got some rain. It rained all weekend. It hadn't rained in like 2 months. It feels like it probably been more like a month. We're still in a drought, but we got some much needed rain. I feel like an old person talking about that, but it was pretty important. It did kind of ruin some of the things you wanted to do outside, but the Buckeyes at least had a dry game up in Michigan. That was good. Hopefully, everybody out there were some high winds on Saturday. Hopefully, everybody is safe and got there. There's some tree branches down everywhere. Got everything trimmed up and taken care of. That's got me juiced a little bit. And then also, Sharky, let's fire away. Who was that I wanted to hear today? Oh, with my guy. This is a great one here. Stumbled across this yesterday. Anyone that has daughters out there knows that I believe Sylvester Stallone has 3 or 4 daughters. This is 2 of them sitting down with him on their podcast talking about their dating experience with Sly being their dad.
I brought my high school boyfriend over for the first time meeting the parents. And do you remember what you did to him when you shook his hand?
It was tight.
You were tight. You gripped it.
Yeah.
And after you said, next time shake my hand like a man.
Oh, well, I was a little carried away, but yes.
Dad, he was 17. Every time we bring a guy over, I tell them before they go through the front door, please just grip my dad's hand hard, because for some reason he'll test you right there, and like that'll
That's
tell
true.
everything.
Listen, I'm only joking. Your boyfriends.
No, you scared the out of me. I was getting dropped off for a date one time, right?
Yeah.
It's my 3rd date. I don't know, maybe I was 19. I was hoping for perhaps a kiss at the end of the night. And he pulls up our driveway. He looks up and goes, holy is that your dad? And he looks up on the balcony on the 2nd floor. The lights are pitch black, except you have one light in your bathroom coming behind you. So it's just a black silhouette of you standing looking over Dad. And he got in his car. And that was the last time I saw him. He never came back. He never called me back after that.
Come on.
And I always call him, that was the one that got away.
Dude, I always say, you literally turn into King Shark. You say one word to these guys, you go,
No, he didn't have to say anything. You're like the Grim Reaper over there.
It's good. I was listening to that. And I was like, you know what? That's tremendous. Shake my hand like a man.
Is that Rambo?
Exactly. Well, I mean, their last name, do they not know that
Stallone's not, I mean, a common name.
I get it. And like, you wouldn't think like, hey, Sly's your dad. I mean, obviously the house, I'm guessing, is fairly nice. Being like, start piecing some elements together.
You got a sweet robot in there.
My dad always told me when you go shake a man's hand, especially if you're dating his daughter, like shake his hand, look him in the eye. Try to teach my boys that as well as I possibly can. But that's, I think, a great, whenever you're having salutations, make sure that you greet them correctly. And I love that he's like, shake my hand like a man next time. Basically tell him, Shark, be a dude.
That scene, and then the scene in Bad Boys 2 where it is Will Smith, and he's like, he just got out of the clink. It's going to be chitty chitty bang bang. And that's an all-time scene too. That's kind of like a real life reenactment of that.
It is. It was good stuff. So Shark, what's got you juiced today?
Schlegs.
I'd play hockey for that guy, though I don't know anything about hockey. It's like, hey, Schlegs, we're going to do this forecheck thing. Okay, cool. Just go smash this guy's face into the wall. 10-4 there, buddy.
What doesn't have me juiced today? Chris Christopherson died, passed away. Great singer, but known more for his songwriting. He's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and made some pretty good movies too. A Star Is Born with Streisand, and Alice doesn't live here anymore. Going to miss Chris Christopherson. And then, Ellie De La Cruz.
He was great in Blade. I loved him in that.
With Snipes?
Yeah. He was like the dude that helped him out. Yeah. Go ahead, Shark. I'm sorry cutting you off.
Ellie De La Cruz led the major leagues in stolen bases, had 67 of them. Ooh. Also led the major leagues in times caught stealing.
Well, when you steal, you try to steal.
High risk, high reward. Also led the major leagues in strikeouts, but did not set the all-time record. Mark Reynolds. We've talked about this before. Mark Reynolds of the Diamondbacks set the major league single-season record with 223 strikeouts back in 2009. Ellie finished with 218 this year, so he falls 5 shy. But there's always next year. And then at John Harbaugh's postgame presser last night after the Ravens beat the Bills in Sunday Night Football, his father, Jack Harbaugh, showed up.
Any questions? But I have a question for you. Who has it better than us? Nobody! I'm so disappointed.
Well, you see what I have to deal with every day. That's okay.
This wild old man just wandered on in here and started yelling things.
Probably didn't show up at Jim's presser yesterday, though, after the Chargers lost to the Chiefs. Beam, what has you juiced?
What's got me juiced? Yeah, that's great, Shark, because I was wondering why he came up there in the press conference. I was watching that Sunday Night Football game. What's got me juiced is it should be illegal for Derrick Henry to just exist like the way that he is. I mean, he's 30 years old. He's 250 pounds. The third fastest time clocked in the NFL this season on a touchdown run.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
I mean, you shouldn't be allowed. You should not be allowed to be able to be that big, that fast, that strong. And he had 3 Bills cornerback, safeties, defensive backs, like tracking him down in that, Bob. And nobody
chasing him, not tracking him.
Yes, chasing him. And he was pulling away with 10 yards to go before the end zone. So that's got me juiced, was fired up about that. I love that guy. That guy is incredible. And then it gets me down the wormhole, and I love reading these stats. Do you want to take a gander at how many career rushing yards Derrick Henry had in high school?
Career?
Yes.
7,500.
You're a bit shy.
Seriously?
A little shy.
I tried to give him close.
Yeah, I mean, he had to be a 4-year starter if he got 2,000 a year, which is a huge number. Where'd he go to high school?
Yulee High School. Where's that at?
E-U-L-Y?
Y-U-L-E-E. Yulee.
Yulee
High School.
Well,
I bet it's like 9,300 or something.
It's in Florida. So Derrick Henry, as a freshman in 2009, had 313 attempts for 2,465 yards. Average 7.9. He had 26 touchdowns as a freshman. His sophomore year, 313 carries, 300 yards more than his freshman year, 27.88, 38 touchdowns. His junior year, he was actually bottled up quite nicely. 309 carries, 2,600 yards, and 34 touchdowns. So a bit of a slide back for Derrick Henry. His senior year at Yulee High School, 462 carries.
Oh, my gosh.
4,261 yards and 55 touchdowns. Derrick Henry carried the ball almost 1,400 times in high school for 12,124 yards. He averaged 8.7 yards per carry in high school, averaged 250 per game, and scored 153 rushing touchdowns.
I mean, his senior year, he was averaging 10 yards a carry. He had 400 carries for 4,000 yards.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
You know what? He's like the Nolan Ryan Shark, where they talk about load management and these back splitting carries. Yeah. Just more is better. Because
they always say there's only a certain number of carries in a running back, and he had a chunk of those in high school. I bet you he goes on to win the Heisman.
I bet you he goes on to win the Heisman, and I bet you he goes on to have a pretty awesome NFL career. The Browns got everyone excited, only to let you down in the end. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, we are watching a crash still on I-70 eastbound leading up to the 70-71 split. Watch for closures in those eastbound lanes. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan traffic.
We hear a lot from our patients after we've successfully treated their erectile dysfunction. But one thing we hear the most is, why didn't I get treated sooner? This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're suffering with ED and all the emotional and relationship problems it causes, don't wait. Call us today. ED is simply a medical condition like any other. And for most men, it's fully treatable, which means you can get your sex life back. And I'm not talking about sex that's just okay, by the way. I'm talking about good sex with the ability to enjoy intimacy without the anxiety that affects so many men who have ED. In fact, you might find you're performing like you haven't in years. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated thousands of men with protocols that are successful in well over 90% of cases. And we have a variety of treatments and treatment combinations so you can get the one that's right for you. So stop waiting and call us. Your first visit includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
Columbus, the wait is over. Blue Jackets hockey is back. Come feel the boom all season long. Be here Tuesday, October 15th for the home opener, presented by Nationwide. Get your tickets today at bluejackets.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning, I'm Mark Bishark. The new AP College football poll is out. Alabama jumped from 4th to 1st after beating Georgia. The Crimson Tide earned 40 of a possible 63 first-place votes to take over the top spot. Texas fell to 2nd. Ohio State remained 3rd, with Tennessee and Georgia rounding out the top 5. In the NFL, the Browns took the opening kickoff in Las Vegas and marched 70 yards in 15 plays for a quick 7-0 lead. But Cleveland's offense wouldn't reach the end zone again in a 20-16 loss to the Raiders. Cincinnati got its first win, 34-24 at Carolina. Joe Burrow threw for 232 yards and 2 touchdowns. In baseball, after being held scoreless in 27 innings this weekend at Wrigley, the Reds finally scored 3 runs in the 10th to beat the Cubs 3-0 on the final day of the regular season. The Guardians and Astros were rained out in Cleveland. The Sports Center is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus. From F-150 to F-750, Valley Ford of Columbus is Ohio's commercial truck headquarters.
1, 2, 3. Football season is weird because we actually look forward to Mondays. It's Reaction Monday.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys.
The Fan. Miss a minute of the show?
Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Type in Morning Juice and subscribe.
This is Morning Juice.
Hour number 3 of the program for us on a Reaction Monday. Brandon Beam, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Coming up here, 8:33 this morning, Joshua Perry. He's going to join the program, as he always does, on a Reaction Monday, breaking down the biggest and the baddest college games of the weekend. So JP will join us here in about a half an hour's time.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Hey, it took the Reds 27 innings to score a run in the series against the Cubbies, but they did it all in the 10th inning, and they won the final game of their season. We can go into the offseason happy. 77-85, final record, 16 games back where they finish in the division. Season is over now.
77-85.
Guards did not win their final game of the regular season, but don't have to worry because...
They lost their last two, didn't they?
They did lose their last two, but they still have more to play. Yeah. So they've still got more games to play. They dropped the final to the Astros. No game yesterday. J-Rams stuck at 39 home runs. We couldn't get it done. Yesterday's game will canceled. You will face the winner of Detroit and Houston. Game 1 will be on Saturday. Shark, how many Guards games have we been to this year?
0.
You didn't go to any?
Did not make it to 1.
How is that possible?
I hope to make it to the divisional round.
You're not going this weekend? I thought you were going...
The divisional round.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry.
I was denied LCS and World Series.
What?
Yeah.
Because you haven't been to a game all year.
Well, they don't know that.
So you put in press credentials and you were denied LCS and World Series?
The credentials for the wild card and the divisional round go through the team, and then the league
because they probably check and ask how many times has this person have they been up covering?
Well, they probably heard the bump back and said that Rob Manfred is ruining baseball or whatever it says, and they put the big old kibosh down.
They just said there's a limited number of credentials for the World Series, and sorry.
Dong Arbor made it tough for T-Bone and I to do the show at the Cruise Championship game, or someone from the league did. Yeah, they were not thrilled that we were doing like a live podcast an hour before
I don't
MLS
understand
Cup
why
back in
that
December.
would be. I understand the constraints on the press box of like getting people in there. Like there is, I mean, a lot of people try to go. So a lot of times with the NFL and even in the college football playoff stuff, like if you don't cover the team on a regular basis, they do not give you a press credential for that. And that makes sense. But like for you guys doing something prior to the game.
Yeah, but you've
ridiculous.
also covered the team. I mean, you have been in that capacity and
you didn't go to a single game this year.
I've never been denied. I was a little surprised.
That's what I mean. Your history, like you've covered this team in the postseason.
It didn't bother me too much because I'm going to be on vacation for the LCS, and I don't think they're going to the World Series. But
I hope they win it this year.
We'll see if I get the divisional.
If
series
they go to the World
weekend.
Series, will you buy a ticket to go?
No. What? No. I just don't. I don't have Bobby Carpenter kind of money.
You said this is your favorite Cleveland team.
It is.
And you're telling me
and they've done it from smoke and mirrors. They shouldn't even be in the spot that they're at.
Right.
And you're not. If it's a big if.
Why don't you work another month, big dog, and that'll take care of it.
I'm not going to do it.
What if they're up 3 games to 1, which they've done that before. They've been in that spot.
Thanks, Bob.
What would be the ticket if you could pay for a
ticket?
If
I could guarantee you they're going to win it.
If I could guarantee you, I'm not going to guarantee you that they're going to win, but guarantee you entry into the game, what would you pay to go to a potential clincher?
I don't know. I've never had to pay for a World Series game. I've always gotten in free.
Yeah, but we're living in a world of hypotheticals.
I know. And it's the same thing with the Browns. I always thought I'd go to the Browns game if they went to the Super Bowl. And
those tickets are out of control.
Well, yeah, back in the day when they were going to AFC Championship games, you could get in the Super Bowl for $100 or $150. Now it costs
like
$5,000. Yeah. I'm not going to go. But as far as the World Series,
which would you rather do? Some cruise over in Europe or go watch your team win a title?
It's Bob. I can't afford it.
You're going on a cruise and you're retiring. The answer is work a little more, take one less cruise.
As opposed to going to one game.
You told me that you love these teams more than anything.
I do.
Okay.
I do. I've been to the World Series before. Just not going to make it this year.
I've long said that it would be way better to go to a home environment AFC or NFC championship game than it would be to go to the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl, I've never been. I've never had the desire to go, and I don't know if I ever will.
Like we did, I mean...
I've been to the Super Bowl for events. I've never gone to the game.
Yeah, like Rothman and I and you guys would do the Radio Row stuff. So, like, I've been Super Bowl adjacent before. When the Bears went and they played the Colts, like my dad, me, and my stepmom went down to Miami. We stayed in Key Largo. Like 8 hours before the game, my dad was like looking for tickets and had a price in mind. Obviously, those weren't met, so we went to some watch party somewhere. But like, I mean, it just seems from the outside like it's so corporate, and that you wouldn't really get like a true football experience that you would get at the home site if you hosted the 2 weeks prior.
Yeah, the home games are going to be far better.
I've been to a few of them too. Losses.
So I had to explain to my son last night. We went to dinner. And, one of my friends was telling the story about how his sister was there. She used to live out in Denver. One of his best friends was a Browns fan. And I think, Shark, you would remember the timeline of this a little better. Maybe it would have been 1989. I think the Broncos started off like 0-6 maybe, or 0-5. Browns were 5-0, and it was after the 2 consecutive AFC Championship games. And they played each other, and the Broncos then beat them. And it said
to break their losing streak.
The Cleveland, what's the paper up there? It's Cleveland.
Plain Dealer.
Plain Dealer. The headline on it that day was Broncos unmask Browns on Halloween. And
on Halloween,
it was like maybe right before that. It was like the Browns were really good still, and then the Broncos weren't. And so he had them. He had his sister, her husband, worked at a golf course where Elway played a lot, and he had them sign that. He sent it out to him. John signed it, and he gave it to his friend for Halloween or for Christmas that year. Like they were adults, and like gave it to his mom, had it wrapped and put under the tree. And my son's sitting there, RJ, and he's like, I don't get it, and because he didn't know any of the history. I'm like, dude, for 2 years, the Browns are on the doorstep of the Super Bowl.
3 out of 4
3 out of 4. I'm like, once was a fumble, and another one was
the drive.
The drive. And I'm like, and those were soul crushing. He's like, oh, that makes a lot more sense now.
It's a great gift.
He's a freshman. He's 15. He has no knowledge of the Browns from the 80s or the terrible defeats. He's only known the Browns to just be generally incompetent. So why would
they were yesterday?
Like they were yesterday. So why would that matter as much?
Let me ask you this question, Shark. Which one? I mean, you're a diehard Cleveland sports fan. Obviously, you don't miss a Browns game. You don't miss a Guardians game. You don't miss a Cavs game. Now, the Cavs already did it back in 2016, so you got the championship for your pro sports teams. If it came down for you to choose, you could have one or the other, Guardians or Browns.
Guards.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured. I mean, you're more. This is just me speaking for you. You seem like you're more of a Guardians fan. Like you get the same amount of upsetness when the Guards lose a game compared to the Browns. And there's 161 of the Guardians.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I suffer for 24 hours with the Guards. With the Browns, I gotta wait till next week. It's painful.
How'd you feel yesterday?
Oh, it's just I hate watching this team. I watch, but I don't enjoy watching.
Yeah.
As Bob said earlier, the offense. There is no rhythm there. There's nothing smooth about that offense. That it's never clicking on all cylinders.
It's herky-jerky, isn't it?
It's just, yeah. I mean,
they haven't scored 20 points in a football game.
If I hear Kevin Stefanski say in a post-game presser, it's something we got to fix, and we will fix it. Every freaking week, we will fix it, but they never fix it.
Like this? Is this what you're talking about?
We just have to focus on getting better. As you know, these games always come down to a few plays, and we have to do the things that cause you to win games, and protecting the football, getting it on defense, obviously tackling the basics. We got to get back to the basics in order to come away with a win.
Like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Let's come away with it's the basic, Shark.
Shark, the problem with them is that they look awesome on the first series. Like they really do. Like
It's even worse because they kind of build you up.
They've scored on all 4 of their first possessions. 1 field goal, 1 touchdown, 3 touchdowns, and they haven't scored more than 20 points in a football game.
Yeah. Like yesterday, what was it, a 9
minutes and 50-some seconds. He killed basically the entire first quarter.
Yeah, and then the final 50 minutes, you can't get into the end zone.
Well, then you force a 3 and out. You turn around, you get a field goal. So you're up 10-0. It's like, okay, well, maybe this offense is just humming today. Because I thought Deshaun looked pretty good yesterday. Like that loss.
I mean, it was a lot of dinking and dunking. He
was mixing it up with his legs.
Dunkaroos.
I mean,
he was under siege the whole day.
At one time, he was 9 for 9 passing for 43 yards.
You know what the most depressing thing is, Shark? On the 4th and 3 or 4th and 4 at the end of the game, you can't even get a pass off.
Yeah.
You get sacked.
Well, and,
I think
also, Bob,
what's amazing is before they called timeout, I think they were going to run it. I was looking at that formation, and Ford was set so deep. I'm like, they're going to run it. And they had a blitz on, and I think they kept the blitz on.
And they called the timeout.
They called the timeout, and then I'm like, we couldn't protect? Like,
yeah.
What are we doing?
But also, they miss an extra point.
Yeah.
So they could have kicked a field goal there at the end.
I know. It's always something. Like, there's always something
the holding
there.
penalty after the 70 whatever yard touchdown.
They just showed the highlight earlier on ESPN of Amari Cooper running, and then flash forward who the heck did they just lose to? The Raiders?
Yeah.
Doing the double hand point, bringing it back.
The line, he wasn't even the guy who got held either. It was just some jabron for the Raiders just pointing in your face.
You can't even celebrate because all you do, you see the yellow up there. It's kind of like the Michigan-Minnesota game with Minnesota recovering the onside kick at the end, and they've got all the momentum, and they're going to at least tie the game. Boom, there's the flag. And then that was very questionable, too, if his helmet was ahead of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But, I don't know.
A lot of games are affected on a call. And I'm not saying they're all bad calls, but I'm just saying a lot of games are affected by officials' calls.
You know what? The good news for you is, Shark, that you had the Buckeyes, and they continue to be your security blanket. We'll get into their road win against Sparty next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, we are watching a crash still on I-70 eastbound leading up to the 70-71 split. Watch for closures in those eastbound lanes. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At the Columbus Men's Clinic, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
The Columbus Men's Clinic has over 10 years of proven results for low testosterone and increasing drive, energy level, and performance. We've introduced ED and enhancement treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call the Columbus Men's Clinic at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now, including blood work. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. The Columbus Men's Clinic, making it happen.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444-ROOF.
There's always time for the drive-thru deal. Because no matter how fast you are at making breakfast, McDonald's is faster.
Wake up to McDonald's breakfast and mix and match a classic sausage McMuffin, delicious sausage burrito, or crispy hash browns. Get any two for just $3. Order ahead in the app and pick up curbside. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer.
suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at buyersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Your small business can save big with the SACA benefit plan. 844-MEDOhio.com. That's 844-MEDOhio.com. Anthem's SACA benefit plan. 844-MEDOhio.com.
We're dealing at Reichert Ford.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at ReichertFord.com. We're dealing.
Democrats will do anything to win. Changing the rules, mail-in ballots, cheating, and even opening our borders, all to win at any cost. Now they have a new scheme, Issue 1. Issue 1 would create a redistricting commission aimed at overturning key protections against gerrymandering in Ohio. Protections approved by over 70% of Ohio voters to prevent this exact kind of political manipulation of voting districts. And the members of this mysterious commission are backed by foreign special interest groups. They're unelected, unaccountable, and completely beyond voter control. If they abuse their power, there's no way to vote them out or hold them responsible. Their only purpose is to take control of Ohio's politics and turn the state from red to blue. This isn't democracy, it's deception. Don't let the Dems continue to rewrite the rules to rig the system in their favor. Protect Ohio's voice. Vote no on Issue 1. Paid for by Ohio Works.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, 77 and cloudy with a 30% chance of rain. 63 is your nighttime low tonight with a few showers. Showers on your Tuesday with a high of 79. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Panic and passion. Is that a motivational quote or the title of an adult romance novel? You're listening to Morning Juice.
Coming up here, 8:33, Joshua Perry. He's going to join the program. We'll react to the Buckeyes and everything else that is going on. You can also watch us live on the YouTube machine. Hop in on the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Chat about some Provel cheese, St. Louis delicacy that was disgusting. Cheese sludge is how I would describe it.
Someone emailed us and described it as, let me see here, the combination of leftover cheeses. It's like, sounds like the Natty Light of cheese, Beam.
It's not, that does a disservice to Natty Light.
Provel, what was it? Swiss, provolone, and American, maybe?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
If I don't, cheddar, check that, not American. Cheddar, Swiss, and provolone.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, it just looks so gross.
It's bad. Yeah, it's bad. Got an email from Kevin. He said, "Hey guys, I went to the 1997 World Series in Cleveland Game 5. I paid $150 for the ticket, $300 for the pair of tickets in the upper deck, just right at home plate." Shark, you were at that game, weren't you? I mean, 1997, you were
all those games. Yeah.
Why can't we sit you up in the auxiliary press box up in right field?
They'll use that.
Not for you, they won't.
I know. I was surprised.
Do you think it's because you drove a hard bargain with that Tomey home run ball?
No, I did not drive a hard bargain. I gave him the ball. Just think about the kid who wouldn't give Shohei the ball.
Think about the guy who filed the lawsuit.
Did we go for auction on that yet?
No, they put a cease on it because there was someone who filed a lawsuit that said that they had that ball in their hands somehow before the kid got it or something.
Oh, I didn't think they did. I know the guy filed a complaint. He wanted to put a stop to it.
Yes, did they not?
They didn't.
Okay, I
think it's going through. Yeah.
Okay, good. Listen, if you lost a ball to a kid, I mean, buddy, I have zero sympathy for you. If you want to be the jerk that rips it away from the kid for a couple $1 million, well, then that's your prerogative. But listen, hey, when that ball's in the air, it's all fair game.
When that ball's on the ground.
100%.
Eyeball. It's like the bottom of a fumble pile.
You know what I want to tell folks? Quit complaining. That's like being at the bottom of a pile when there's a fumble down there. It's by any means necessary to bring that thing out. All right? I mean, you get guys gouging, grabbing,
biting.
Chunks of human flesh. I mean, whatever you can grab or poke.
Rip.
I mean, there's things under there.
Strangle.
There's things under there that are, crimes against humanity.
Some of them last for 3 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
12 guys on a pile. Nobody knows what's going on in the bottom of that.
Well, you do. It's some of that stuff that they were talking about at the Diddy parties, Beam.
You ever been on the bottom of one of those piles?
I have not.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. I recovered a couple of fumbles in the NFL. You watch me, I get that sucker, and anytime I've got it, I rolled. Like, you don't want to be stationary. So you've got to roll and show everybody. You slide in and you, roll with it quick. Because that way, even if someone's diving, you're a moving target and the ref, clearly sees you have the ball. So it's not that big of a deal.
Got it, ref. Got it.
But, those guys, scoop it in. You've got to get and turn and try to start creating some space. Because if you're stationary under there, oh, gosh. You might get fish hooked.
Yeah. It's probably the best outcome.
There's things under there you might need to see a counselor for afterwards, Beam.
How about Ryan Day after the game? What about J.J. Smith? That guy is a freak show.
I thought Chip was aggressive, did a really good job of calling him. And Devin stepped up in a big way, came in for Will and delivered that throw. But, what an unbelievable catch. I couldn't believe he caught it. Just a tremendous play. But then I thought we came out in the second half, too, and continued that because 28-7 at half. We wanted to get the thing to at least 35. And, I think when, you come out and you can get a 3-and-out, or I don't know if it was exactly a 3-and-out, and then get the ball back and score another touchdown. It just it flips the game. And I thought that was kind of where the game turned.
No, they did it. Will went out. First of all, you had the JJ play on the sideline on the bomb, which he goes up and grabs with one hand, which was spectacular.
And
it's that same
Chamberlain,
and it's that same series. So Will goes out of the game when he's delivering a pass. Devin comes in the game and then ultimately throws that touchdown strike to Jeremiah Smith. So one of his second grabs like that on the same exact drive.
How about it's a 3rd and 10. You're down inside the red zone. Well, Devin comes in. How about Chip, just dialing up a pass for him?
Yeah.
There's a lot of times, let's just run it right here. Don't make a mistake. At that point, what are they up? 17-7. Worst case, we get a field goal here, short chip shot. The last thing we want to do is take a sack, or even worse, turn it over.
It's right before the end of the half.
It's right before the end of the half. And kudos to him for dialing up, saying, hey, let's keep being aggressive with this. And they bring the blitz. Trey picks it up. Devin resets.
Great blitz pickup.
Good, really solid. Devin resets. And, the coverage was pretty good. It wasn't like he had a lot of room. He puts it out in front of him. It's
a perfectly delivered ball.
It's a heck of a catch.
That's underthrown by a yard. Yeah. It's probably going the other way.
So kudos to him, man. Well done. Well done. And the coaches and Chip having confidence in Devin to be able to deliver.
For sure, man. What about the defense? First half, maybe some issues. Here's Ryan Day's assessment right after the game.
Yeah, when you look at the sum total of it all, 50 plays and 246 yards and 7 points, you come away and you say, geez, well, what a great performance. And certainly I thought we did a really good job of shutting them down, especially in the second half. But there's some things we got to look at in the film and figure out, kind of early on, like you said, some explosive plays in there that we got to clean up. I think that we were watching the film at halftime. We were close to getting to the quarterback with a couple things. We just needed to hang on coverage just a tick longer. But listen, they're a good team and they're well coached and they have good players too. But I thought we responded and made the changes appropriate and game adjustments were solid.
I think the chunk plays, what he's talking about, is probably the most important. You had a 19-yarder, 24-yarder, 26-yarder, 15-yarder, 25-yarders. All of those happened in the first half.
Explosive gains. Oh, the second half, you look at what they were able to do defensively.
60 total yards, 32 of that coming on Michigan State's last drive.
5 plays, punt, 3 plays, pick, 3 plays, punt, 6 plays, punt, 3 plays, punt, end of game. Like the second half was what you expected. And here's the thing. Teams are going to scheme up. They're going to have stuff you haven't seen. How quickly can you adjust to it? And can you ultimately find a way to get off the field? Can you create that negative yardage play and either A, get off the field on third down, or B, like what they did when they were driving, don't give up the huge play, make them drive it on you, and then you have an opportunity to either A, force a field goal, or B, create a turnover. And that's what they did. They were able to get turnovers again, which is something they hadn't done. So focus on the positive of that a little bit.
Yeah, and too, I mean, it wasn't like they were fluky turnovers either. I mean, Jordan Hancock straight up stripped the ball, and then Lathan, who is every game,
punch out.
You can watch him do this. I mean, just straight up peanut punch, just right out of there. And so they reap the benefits of those rewards.
If you hold your tongue beam and say peanut punch, what do you think that sounds like?
Nothing good. Joshua Perry, he's going to join us. We'll break down the Buckeyes and the rest of the college football weekend with him next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Happy Monday to you. Right now, a couple crashes we're watching. 670 westbound right near the 71 split. Watch for slowdowns in those westbound lanes. I-71 northbound slow moving into downtown because of a crash near Greenlawn Avenue. And I-70 eastbound still watching some lane closures because of a crash right near the 70-71 split. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
The Central Ohio leader in roof repair and replacement is Roof Revivers. With over 350 5-star reviews on Google, Roof Revivers is committed to repairing roofs first before replacing them. If your roof needs repaired, visit Roof Revivers online at roofrevivers.com. Roof Revivers, we fix leaky roofs.
Hey Columbus, Caden Curry here, Ohio State student athlete for Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. When it comes to hard work, whether on the field or the farm, I need something that's as tough and reliable as I am. That's why I trust Kubota diesel tractors from Green & Sons. Kubota's diesel tractor motors are high-powered, reliable, and don't stop running, just how I like to play. So when you're serious about getting the job done, you need the Kubota equipment you can trust from Green & Sons. Check them out at greenandsons.com or stop by one of their stores in Mount Sterling and in Raymond, north of Marysville.
Order like a champ at Raising Cane's. With tailgates of hand-battered chicken fingers and cane sauce and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade, you can guarantee victory for every game day meal. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Is your business generating over $1 million a year in revenue? If your financial advisory team isn't keeping pace, maybe it's time for a change. Here's Brad Hennebert with Premier Advisors.
Thanks, Bobby. Our team integrates financial planning and asset management with business accounting and tax preparation. Business owners have planning needs that are unique. We work with you to design a seamless financial services bundle tailored to your business with monthly or quarterly advisory consultations to help guide you along the way. We don't just keep score of what happened last year. Our team combines expert financial planning and wealth management with top-tier tax services, helping businesses like yours build wealth for you. Call us today at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
Brad Hennebert is a registered representative offering securities through United Planners Financial Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through TCP Asset Management LLC. Tax services offered through Premier Tax CPAs. United Planners is not affiliated with TCP Asset Management, Premier Advisors, or Premier Tax CPAs.
Football season is here, and we have so much stuff. One station isn't enough. Find even more pigskin on ESPN Columbus.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2, or listen on the Fan app.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Scott from the Cleveland area has coached girls basketball and supported his granddaughter's athletic pursuits.
My granddaughters have worked hard to excel in sports. It's tough enough. So the idea that Sherrod Brown voted to allow transgender biological men to compete in girls' sports, it's unfair and dangerous. And introducing a bill to allow biological men in girls' locker rooms? Biological men to shower in my granddaughter's locker room? No way. I worry about the safety of my family constantly. Now I have to worry about Sherrod Brown's crazy liberal ideas. I thought Sherrod Brown was on my side, but he's way too liberal for me.
Sherrod Brown has let Ohio down. Now he's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Hey folks, Bobby Carpenter here. I picked up my brand new Toyota Tundra last week and I absolutely love it. From my guy Marcello at Gerdeman Toyota. And right now, you can lease the powerful Toyota Tundra SR5 for just $409 per month. That's 36 months, 10,000 miles per year. Built to handle tough jobs and thrilling journeys. The Toyota Tundra SR5 is the ultimate companion for work and play. These deals are rolling out fast, so don't wait. Visit Gerdeman Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net. Offer ends soon. See dealer for details.
Hey football fans, with BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. Partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town, with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats too. Your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
Beam has a baby face. Bobby has soft hands. That should not stop you from listening to this show. This is Morning Juice.
Coming up here tomorrow at this very time, Uncle Bo, he's going to join the program. We'll talk some Browns, what they did and didn't do well against the Raiders. As of right now, though, we check in on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline with our great friend. He is Joshua Perry. JP, thanks so much for the time, buddy. Always appreciate it. Start you out here with the Buckeyes 38-7, no problems. Maybe some in the first half, a little things to go over here in practice, but the second half for the defense, JP, only 60 yards allowed, 38 points, your final score, a couple of turnovers. All in all, I thought it was a pretty impressive road opener for this team.
I did too. Michigan State, for what we saw the last handful of years, like this Michigan State team certainly is different. They're a ways away, no doubt, and they've got a turnover issue that they've got to get together. But it's a solidly constructed football team. I had mentioned before that game, I thought that their defense was playing really well, so I thought it was going to be a good challenge for Ohio State offensively, and we did see some challenges, right? Like, the ball got put in a couple of bad spots by Will Howard, something he can't do moving forward, but ultimately, they were able to overcome. Jeremiah is ridiculous. He's a first-round pick today. It's a good thing he's not draft eligible if we get to hold on to him for a little while. And, again, the defense, for some people, they're like, oh, I think there's something off with the defense. I think those guys are just out there playing base defense right now and doing a pretty good job of it. So I thought it was a good performance overall.
So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Joshua. Like Ryan talked about how they were close in the first half, just didn't quite get there. Start blitzing a little more in the second half, and then you start seeing the 3, 4, 5 plays and a punt. Once they started dialing it up, it seemed like it was a different defense early in the second half than maybe it was in the first.
Yes, I agree with that, right? And I think the game plan in some of these games for Ohio State probably should be, let's see how long we can play base. If we don't have to do anything too complicated, why do it? Why put it on tape? And that's kind of where they've been. But to your point, when they dial it up, it is absolutely ridiculous, and it's a really good unit. And I'm very excited to see, when they really start to have to play with some more diversity and get after teams a little bit more aggressively, what that ends up looking like. But I think to me, they played pretty well. You give the ball to Michigan State on a short field, and it's really their only opportunity where it looks like they're going to score. Even the drive where they had the big pass play to the tight end, you're able to knock the football out. Like, that's a hallmark of a good team right there. Like, even on probably one of your worst defensive plays, explosive that you gave up, you're still able to make a positive out of it. So that's not the side of the ball that I worry about. I really don't worry about the offense either. But from a defensive standpoint, I think those guys are playing really solid ball.
He is Joshua Perry with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Let's get into some Big Ten talk, shall we? Michigan staving off a late surge, JP, against the Gophers. Ref dropped the flag on the offside call on the onside kick. Minnesota ends up recovering it. Doesn't matter. Michigan kills off the game. After that, I don't know, JP. I mean, if Minnesota gets the ball back there, I'm not betting against them because they were like a hot knife through butter against the Wolverines defense there in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they had all the momentum in that game. It was actually wild how they were able to get momentum back. And this is 2 weeks in a row for the Wolverines where, they had a sizable lead in the game. It looked like, kind of the old Michigan from last year where, they're able to just drag you out in the deep waters a little bit. And then last year they kind of just, they would snuff you out. They would kill you slowly. And this year they're letting teams back into football games. But I thought the offsides call was really borderline. Urban, when he was coaching at Ohio State, used to run a lot of the special teams, and he harped on us when it was an onside kick situation. Be a half a yard behind the ball. Like, don't make it a close one where the official can throw the flag on you. And so there's kind of a back and forth there about Minnesota. Like, you can't be close on that one. Also, I thought it was a really questionable call. And to your point, they're probably able to at least tie that game up the way that they had momentum in that one. Michigan's got issues right now. Like, it's a very unique thing to see. And I mentioned last week, it feels like their style of play has rewarded bad behavior because they were able to close out some of these games that it feels like they shouldn't have been able to close out. There's a culture part of that, too, where it is still a resilient team. But I'm just wondering at what point in their schedule does it actually start to really bite them?
One of the other big games happened in Happy Valley, Illinois, going in ranked on ranked. Close game, tied at halftime. Illinois kind of getting overwhelmed a little bit in the second half, just worn down really more so. 21-7. Does that game tell us more about, maybe that Illinois is a little better than we think, or Drew Altmaier, looked pretty good, or Luke Altmaier looked pretty good. Drew Aller didn't throw it as much as he has been. Was that by design, you think, or are they just more concerned about what they were trying to get done on offense?
It was an interesting game to watch in terms of the flow of it. So I think the turning point and the tough part for Illinois was at the end of the half where they had an opportunity to score and they weren't able to punch it in. They had a penalty to start the drive, which was tough. And then I think they had a grounding as well, set them up for a long field goal. And that's not something that you can have if you're Illinois. And so second half, Penn State realizes all they have to really do is run the football and they can close it out. It was interesting watching Drew Aller, though, because it was like the hype train got started once again, and I was very much in wait-and-see mode. Part of it was I don't know if they fully trust him, and he's a guy who kind of rides the wave in terms of his emotions. The other part is I really still don't think their wide receivers are all that good. I think Tyler Warren is one of the best tight ends in the country, surefire draft pick, one of the best tight ends. But their wide receivers are not great. And I think their offense kind of showed us who they really are. They took the ball out of Drew Aller's hands in a lot of situations, whether it was Wildcat with Warren back there at quarterback. They brought in the second string who's more of a runner, and they would do kind of the Wildcat thing with him. And I'm like, if this is the guy, and everybody's trying to tell me, like, a couple of years he's going to be a first-round pick, I don't see a lot of first-round picks where they take the football out of your hands like that. I mean, he goes out and throws it for the 135 yards or whatever the case is. I've been cooking Riley Leonard at Notre Dame for having passing numbers like that, right? Like, we're getting on the Michigan guys for not being able to really throw the football. 135 yards in college football is not an impressive number. So I do have questions about Penn State and how much they've really gotten better. I think the scheme diversity on offense is better. They do a great job with shifts and formations. But when it comes to actually, like, having guys and, got to have at moments where it's quarterback, wide receiver, there's a big question to me.
Who, Joshua, to you is the better team is currently comprised? 5-0 Indiana. They just took down Maryland on the weekend, 42-28. Or Rutgers, who took down Washington 21-18. Both of those teams having stellar starts to their year.
I think it's Indiana. Curtis Rourke has been really good for them at quarterback. Now, he turned the football over early on in that game. It was the first time he had turned it over all season long. But he's been very good this year. I think offensively as a whole, they have played extremely well. One of the most productive offenses in the country, and their defense has been nasty. I love Rutgers and their mentality. They're super veteran. I don't think Ethan Kaliak-Manis is a great quarterback. I think he's good in that system. Kyle Monunga is one of the best running backs in the conference, so they can lean on him, and they've done that. He scored in every game so far. But if I had to pick the team I'd give the edge to, it's Indiana. And you start to look at either one of those schedules, by the way. I think Rutgers is winning 9 games this year, and I wouldn't be shocked if Indiana won 9 or 10.
Ooh. Indiana winning 9 or 10. How about the no love for Rutgers in the ranking? Like, I understand UNLV is a great story, but Joshua, you can't tell me that if the folks out in the desert where UNLV is located, if they had a neutral site game between Rutgers and the Rebs, that Rutgers wouldn't be at least a 6.5 point favorite, if not like 8.5 to 9.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. It's so funny to me. Like, I was stumping on Twitter after Rutgers won on Friday night that they should be ranked, and I still believe that. It would be interesting if the AP voters had to rank teams blindly off of just their resume, right? Like, take the logos out of there, because there are some teams right now that are sitting there in the top 25 that if it wasn't for the brand, I don't think they would be in the top 25. They're getting benefit of the doubt. We're sitting here today with Michigan as a top 10 team in college football. And I would just ask the question, like, do we really feel that way? Is Michigan a better team today than Clemson is? Like, and I'll just leave that question for you two. Like, do you think they are? Because I don't.
Yeah, I agree. Clemson's playing really well. After that initial game to Georgia, they've rebounded pretty nicely and looked pretty darn good.
Yeah, and so I think the AP thing just it gets my blood boiling a little bit. But Rutgers, it's a tragedy that they're not ranked. But I do think they've got Nebraska coming up this week, 6.5 point dog in Lincoln, and that's a game that I think they can win.
Yeah, they're at Nebraska this week, and then beside them for Indiana, a chance to get to bowl eligible. And their first 6 games, they're on the road against Northwestern, which I would imagine that they're going to be favored in that one. JP, always appreciate the time, my friend. Thanks so much for hopping on with us here this morning. Have a great rest of your week, buddy, and we'll check in again next Monday, all right?
All right, take care, guys.
There he goes, Joshua Perry with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We're going to reveal our fan poll next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Happy Monday to you. Right now, a couple crashes we're watching. 670 westbound right near the 71 split. Watch for slowdowns in those westbound lanes. I-71 northbound slow moving into downtown because of a crash near Greenlawn Avenue. And I-70 eastbound still watching some lane closures because of a crash right near the 70-71 split. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Common Man and T-Bone here for Hollywood Casino Columbus. Hey, Bone, did you know the sportsbook is now called ESPN Bet?
I did, and you can watch your favorite teams on the biggest screens, place your bets, and grab some wings with an ice-cold pint.
Maybe you're too boring and don't want to go to the casino. Good news. You can keep the action going and place your bets on the go with the ESPN Bet app.
The ESPN Bet Sportsbook is your 50-yard line ticket to odds, point spreads, and over-unders.
It's the place to be. Losers must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
Integrity, honesty, and quality. Words we live by here at Monogram Homes. Hi, this is Dina. And at Monogram Homes, we strive to bring your wants to your man cave, your needs to your kitchen, and your ideas to life. Most home builders claim to be custom, but starting with stock floor plans and templates isn't our idea of a tailored experience. At Monogram Homes, we start with a blank slate and work with you until you get exactly what you want. So start your true custom home journey today with a builder you can trust. Monogram Homes. Visit us online at monogramhomes.net.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here for my friends at Affinity Whole Health. Affinity is the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, but they are also much more than that. They help men and women who are experiencing things like low energy, low libido, muscle loss, and weight gain. Turn it all around. You can feel amazing and live better just like I can. It can be delivered right to your door, which is tremendous. Semaglutide for weight loss and testosterone and hormone replacement therapy for so much more. I've been a customer for years and it works. Get started at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Would you believe that giraffes are 30 times more likely to get hit by lightning than people? Or that a single cloud can weigh 550 tons or more? Sounds fake, right? How about an insurance company that actually treats you right? Sounds unbelievable, but it's true. NJM Insurance is proud to put policyholders first. And they don't use jingles or mascots either. Don't believe me? Well, guess what? Everything in this commercial is true and approved by the legal department. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Visit njm.com for a quote.
Dick from Dayton says, listen to the Ryan Day Show. Paul Keels and Jim Lachey join Coach every Thursday from noon to 1.
Presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Fan.
Come November, I'll need an ACA health insurance plan. And thanks to Health Markets, searching for a plan can be easier. When you go to healthmarkets.com, you can find a licensed insurance agent right in your area. They'll even take you through the plans in person. And their help doesn't cost you anything. That's what I like.
Discover the advantages of real personalized service today at healthmarkets.com. Health Markets Insurance Agency, Inc. is licensed as an insurance agency nationwide except in Massachusetts. Sales agents may be compensated based on a consumer's enrollment in an insurance plan. No obligation to enroll, paid actor per trail.
My kids call me Tom. So unnerving. Every day, the older one's like, "How you doing, Tom?" I go, "Hey, I'm not your stepdad, all right? I wish I was. It'd be a lot easier, but I'm not."
From his multiple Netflix specials, comedian Tom Segura brings his new tour, Come Together, to Schottenstein Center Friday, October 4th. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Tom Segura, Come Together.
Great game. You got into the end zone again and again. How'd it feel?
Awesome. Like getting a new iPhone again and again. I just got the new iPhone 16 Pro today.
Really?
Yeah. And with AT&T Next Up Anytime, I can upgrade early every year.
Very nice.
Feel like an MVP again. Learn how to get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us and the latest iPhone every year with AT&T Next Up Anytime. AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Offer subject to change. Additional fees, terms, and restrictions apply. $0 offer may not be available on future iPhones. Next Up Anytime feature may be discontinued at any time. See att.com/iPhone for details.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators...
like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Today, cloudy with a few showers, high 77. Showers on your Tuesday, and tomorrow we may even get a quick thunderstorm, high 79. Sunny on Wednesday with a high of 73. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. A radio show hosted by two former football players, one slightly more successful than the other. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Wrapping things up here, Reaction Monday edition of the program. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark, Uncle Bo and the boys are going to be up after we're done talking all things Buckeyes, talking Bama, Georgia, and of course they will be joined by Austin Ward, as they traditionally are here on a Reaction Monday, coming up here at 10:33.
I've never been in a situation where I found myself cheering for the Steelers, really. I mean, they have Buckeyes, and so I've always wanted those guys to do well that are there. And they always seem to draft and bring in a lot of Ohio State guys. I mean, yesterday I was like vehemently rooting for the Steelers to win that game for Justin. Like, they had the bad fumble, but outside of that, like second half, he was on fire.
312 yards.
Yeah. I mean, for a guy that they said couldn't throw. Oh, we're talking about bad fumbles. George Pickens waving the ball around inside the 5-yard line like a nincompoop. Like, what are we doing? Put the ball away. My goodness. Shark, you may want to just join the Steelers squad. You can cheer for Fields.
Oh, he's going to be like Tito.
You can be like Tito.
Can't do it.
Minus being like Tito.
Can't do it. Wouldn't be prudent.
But
can't do it.
I want Fields to succeed so bad. And I was so happy for him yesterday. And they get down there, I'm like, he's going to win this game for him. And then
ball right off the face mask.
Off the face mask. And they get to the 4th and 4. Or no, that's the Browns.
4th and 10.
4th and 10. They go, so it's 3rd and 22. They get to 4th and 10. I'm like, can you get a little protection? They know you're throwing.
Najee Harris, who on that 3rd and 22, kept the ball inbounds.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Then I think they should have burned a timeout. Tomlin's a really good coach, but it's 4th and 10. What are we taking the timeout with this for?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, this is the game.
Yeah,
there's 50 seconds. And
they didn't have 3 left.
No.
Like, if they had 3 left, then I'd maybe understand it. Okay, they get the ball. We get a stop, then we can have a miracle play.
But the thing was, Najee Harris, if he would have went out of bounds, you don't need it. But the 2 critical error, not going out of bounds, and then they're in a hurry, and then they don't get it. Terrible. Really,
the fumble was bad from Justin.
It was scrambling around, tried to reverse field. Yeah, it's never good.
But he's going to give you that. Like, he's going to have some plays.
Hopefully, at some point, he doesn't give you that anymore. That's what you're trying to coach out of him. Have the good without the bad. 2 rushing touchdowns, passing touchdown. He did have a fumble, but felt pretty good about it.
I just don't think there's any way that they can put Russ in.
No.
There's no
His
way.
teammates would lose their mind. Mr. Unlimited, no. You cannot go back to him.
Yeah, it's not like the offense let you down. I mean, you scored 24 points in the game. You got Joe Flacco'd.
Yeah, that's...
His defense, you were down 17-0.
They converted. Let me go look. Where is that game? I'm almost terrified to look. This is 2 weeks
Third
ago.
down efficiency?
On
8 of 15 for the Colts.
But I feel like they were about 5 for 6 in the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And Caleb Downs' brother doing most of the damage.
Josh Downs?
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were brothers.
Well, they are. So now you know. Baby.
I saw an old Geno Smith
You learn something new every day.
It's true. I saw an old Geno Smith tweet, which we learned that Geno Smith is Jeremiah Smith's cousin a couple of weeks ago. There's a tweet that from back in like 2021 that Geno Smith said, Jeremiah Smith, just remember that name.
Yeah.
And then he quote tweeted it this weekend.
Because that was when he was in middle school and looked like he should have been in college.
When he had Derrick Henry stat lines.
I asked my brother. So my brother was up there, obviously. His Mark D'Antonio was getting put in the Hall of Fame. So big congrats to Mark. And that's why I said they had a lot of juice going. You know, between the first and second quarter, they've got that going back and forth. And I asked my brother, I go, what did you think of him? He goes, he looks like a man. I go, exactly. He looks like an NFL caliber receiver. He's like, I cannot believe that dude is only a freshman. It doesn't make sense.
Listener Todd, he tweeted me a video. They live up in Chicago, and so they were actually like on the side of the end zone.
Oh, they're right in the corner.
I mean, right in the corner. So you get this great view of Devin slinging the ball to JJ. First of all, great pass by Devin. Second of all, great blitz pickup by Trey.
He might get a cinematography.
I mean, it's as good of an angle as you've ever seen from the stands. And then, again, unbelievable pass.
Pretty steady.
Trey, boom, pick up on number one. Blitzing safety, it looks like. Devin, middle of the field, actually is looking at G. Scott.
Hold the safety.
Yeah. Hold the safety. Hold him. Hold the safety. Looking at G.
Reset.
Boom. Whip the other way. Go there. Crazy touchdown pass.
So good. It was well done by Devin.
Yeah.
So I was very happy for him coming in and putting something like that.
How about the end around, too?
Oh, yeah. He got all kinds of stuff.
As soon as JJ got the ball on the end around, I'm like, that's a touchdown.
Well, you didn't see anybody on the frame to pull him up. Like he's running at 200 meters right now.
And whoever was on the blocks, too, had one on the inside, one on the outside. I mean, it was just like the parting of the Red Sea.
Absolutely. So they've got it rolling, man. Chips, I'll tell you what, it's fun to watch the offense. They've got some stuff in the bag. And so every week I always enjoy things that I've got to see as they deploy them. Like, I wonder when they're going to use it. When are they going to do this? When are they going to do that? And they've slowly kind of sprinkled some of that stuff out there for the folks.
Before we get out of here today, our fan poll at 971thefan.com or on Twitter at 971thefan. Have you ever tried Provel cheese? Yes or no? Yeah. It's pronounced Emo's Pizza, too, by the way, thanks to someone on the YouTube chat, Brutus Buckeye. So the actual Brutus put in the chat box.
Emos.
If you're in St. Louis and you want to try a regional delicacy, you can try the Emos. Get the toasted raviolis. They're great. The Provel cheese is disgusting. I can't do it. It's like cheese sludge. Our real question, where do you think Ohio State should currently be ranked in the college football poll? First, second, third, or fourth? I think third's right.
Second, I wouldn't have a problem with second. Like, the reality is, I mean, Bama just beat the number one team in the country, and they were ranked fourth.
Yeah.
And they looked really good. Now, obviously, Georgia came back.
I think both teams have problems. It's not like both teams are unbeatable, but Jalen Milroe had over nearly 500 yards of offense.
Well, I think we've learned, even when you watch Georgia against Kentucky, you saw Ole Miss, like there are no teams that are perfect. Be glad that your team is winning. They're going to have a tougher test against Iowa this week, and then they're going to have a pretty tough road test against Oregon following that, the toughest test to date. So, like, they're going to have body of work opportunities here. So, like, don't fret on that.
Bob, I had so much fun today. What do you say we reconvene on a big Tuesday, Uncle Bo Day, and a Schleg Day if they allow us? You good with that?
That sounds exciting.
Everybody have a fantastic day.
Riveting.
Uncle Bo and the boys are up next on a Reaction Monday, breaking down all the great football from the weekend. We are back live tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. to break everything down. Have a good one. Talk to you then. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Happy Monday to you. Right now, a couple crashes we're watching. 670 westbound right near the 71 split. Watch for slowdowns in those westbound lanes. I-71 northbound slow moving into downtown because of a crash near Greenlawn Avenue. And I-70 eastbound still watching some lane closures because of a crash right near the 70-71 split. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
This is a fan action update.
2 Monday Night Football games tonight. First, it's the Titans and Dolphins. Dolphins are 2.5-point home favorite, minus 140 on the money line. Titans are plus 120 to pull off the upset. Very low, 37 points is the total. Then it's the Lions and Seahawks. Lions are a 4-point home favorite and minus 200 on the money line. Seattle plus 165 to pull the upset. Total is 47 for your action update. I'm Scotty Vegas.
Hey guys, if you've noticed a lack of energy and drive, it could be low testosterone. Don't wait. Get your levels checked by the experts at Low T Center. They have over a decade of experience helping patients. And once you're established, you'll get the convenience of physician-monitored, at-home TRT with advanced treatment that includes both lab testing and medication. Low T Center ships directly to your door. So go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
Breaking gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
Use your own body's healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get you real lasting pain relief? That sounds amazing. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine. And if you're tired of arthritic pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders, I've had it before. I've had it in my knee. I went and saw the professionals, the experts at QC Kinetics. They're the leaders in regenerative medicine. Guess what? There's no surgery, there's no drugs, there's no downtime. And my dad did it as well. The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough using cellular therapies. They've got tens of thousands satisfied patients just like me. So I'm back to running again. My dad is back to walking again. They've got locations conveniently located in Dublin and Gahanna. So go check them out by going to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BREAK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BREAK to 321-321. That's BREAK to 321-321.